Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you all for joining me today, Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. Tons to cover today. Amalek is back. Going to be discussing the king, the king visiting Trump, World War 11, as they're saying, some Messiah Wars, a hodgepodge, a bunch of random stuff, some clips Amalek has posted. Going to be a good one, only made possible thanks to you guys and your support. Powerchat.live/KnowMoreNews. You know what to do. Pinned to the top where we're streaming in Rumble and Odysee, and then down in the description below. Hope you guys like the new intro. Did you catch it, Amalek, or were you stepped away? What'd you think?
Wait for a second. I didn't get to catch it. I'll watch on the replay. I'm sure it was good. I'll check it out then.
I thought it was pretty good. I just threw it together, so I may change it or
The
do
South
some
Park stuff
new
is
ones.
so funny. Isn't it crazy? You could literally like make your own South Park. You could just rip all, like there's nothing they could do about that, you know? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, look at the video that Jack Stone made. Watch this.
Can you believe these retards think I'm not a Jew? Or that you're real at all? I mean, the Bible says I was a rabbi teaching the Jews in synagogues, for fuck's sake. How illiterate and stupid can these people be?
I don't know.
You illiterate! They think I'm real too and always want me to take them from behind or get behind them or whatever.
That's so funny. That is so good. I wonder how he made this. I asked him. Are you there? You're on mute, maybe. I told the prompt GoPro angle in a Grok. Wow.
He said Grok did it, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm ready to make a whole episode of me hanging out with Jesus at the wall, hotbox in the car, romantic walks on the beach. You know, bowing down to Comedy Central Jesus.
That's so good. I love that. It's hilarious. Works great.
I hope they let us keep doing it and they don't do like copyright stuff. That'd be lame. But let's see. Oh my God, I got so many up. All right. First thing, we got a bunch of stuff we're going to get in today. A little surfing Jesus. I didn't tell you this, but I got a clip of Tovia Singer debating with Messianic Rabbi Michael Brown, Dr. Michael Brown also.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, fighting over the context, which we talked about on the space, or not the space, the Zoom call the other night.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was just watching Tovia Singer this morning. He posted a video where he's reacting to that one Eastern Orthodox priest that had the clip going around that was, oh, we don't follow the Old Testament, that doesn't matter, and all that other bullshit. And he's reacting to that basically, and his takeaway is like, this is what happens when you have no guardrails. And it's just so crazy because he obviously understands that it's, oh, you know, no guardrails in terms of they're like he understands it as midrash, I guess is really what I'm trying to say. Like he has to understand that this is what they're doing, but they just don't have the guardrails. You know what I mean? So they're really kind of just like arguing over who has we have the authentic reading. It's so stupid.
There's no guardrails because it's a meme, and because memes have a life of their own, and whoever has the influence, their perspective, their understanding, their interpretation is, if it's popular, it becomes de facto real in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do first clip. Trump talking about King Charles.
She loved my mother. I just see it so clearly. She loved, and I told the king this, she loved the royal family. And she loved the queen. And anytime the queen was involved in a ceremony,
he doesn't seem to like that.
My mother
on the right. He's like,
no, I think it rubbed off on him, and he wants to be a king.
There would be glued to the television, and she'd say, "Look, Donald, look how beautiful that is." She really did love the family, but I also remember her saying very clearly, "Charles, look, young Charles, he's so cute."
The face he made's
My mother
funny.
had a crush on Charles. Can you believe it? Amazing how, I wonder what she's thinking right now. My mother.
That's a good one. That's actually a good one.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say too, we're doing a new internet today, so it should be coming in nice and crisp, no drops, should be smooth. It was working good all morning, so there's that. And also, we're now tracking the beats per minute. What does that say? 68? 68 beats per minute. So we're gonna monitor. We're going to keep it monitored throughout the show, throughout the day when I'm sleeping at night. How much cortisol maximum I'm doing if my heart rate goes crazy when I'm doing stuff, all right?
Yeah, that'll be great.
It's going to be the new thing. We'll check it.
You can do like a live play-by-play when we're dealing with like throughout the day, like and like be like, I was reading E-Crusader Twitter during this time. Interesting.
Yeah, you correlate it and align it with stuff you're doing in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, also, Alex Jones's take, he's so ridiculous. Count Dracula's heir and king of satanic evil. King of the satanic evil. Number one, Church of England is Protestant Church of England. You know, he's the head of the church. So that's the Christian country, or the Christian West is all satanic to him, huh? Everything's satanic.
What the hell does Dracula have to do with it, man? Why is he getting thrown shade? What the fuck? That's
Dude,
fucked
he's
up.
always
like actually one of the
obsessed.
cool Christians. Like, what the fuck?
He really hates his European royalty. He really likes to blame the Atlanticists and the royals. He says the royals are running everything. They're the secret occult satanic Bilderberg group that's really running the whole world, and the Jews are just scapegoated. That's kind of his analysis.
Super popular among like Muslims and Arabs, dude. It's so fucking annoying, dude. I have so many I see so many of that stuff, so much of that stuff going around. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, let's see a little bit of his theatrics here.
Everyone's eyes are going to be on Trump and the king and how they're getting on.
Land of Islamic pedophiles, land of satanic evil, destroying Ireland and Scotland too.
Blaming for destroying Ireland and Scotland? Like, those are just white wars. Oh, the more powerful nation like picked on the smaller one. Oh, that's never happened before.
King Charles with all the demons around in the red painting.
Oh, my demon painting.
Save all Count Dracula's heir, and the rocket's ready.
What's the point of like comparing it to Dracula? It's like he drinks blood, adrenochrome. Is that the analysis here?
That's what I was wondering. I think that's kind of what he's doing. He's like the heir of Dracula. Is he suggesting maybe that Victoria was like a vampire? Maybe like what's going on here, dude? Like this is like such low level analysis. It's really dumb. It's really low IQ people. I wonder how much longer you can keep doing this. I guess forever. There's unlimited retards, huh?
Unlimited Christian retards. They don't satanic. Oh, he's satanic.
The bombs bursting in air, and truth through the night.
Okay, we don't need to
Depopulate the earth, as my late father, Prince Philip, said. The commoners, we love them dead.
And I think it will be very stirring.
Yes, very stirring.
Historical and very much
And then the
about
people,
hands across the water.
the LaRouche people overall mean well. They're like, this is them coming hand in hand to grovel to Trump's new order. This is a stunning victory. No, it's all about Trump covering up Epstein for them. And they are here to kiss his ass over that.
For them, as if they're behind it and not just they were blackmailed by Israel. Oh yeah, Trump's helping cover up. Everybody know, what did Trump do to stop Epstein and Prince Andrew anyway? The dude embarrassed himself on the interview, and everybody knows he's guilty. It's not like Jones covered it up for him. What the fuck? It was outed. It was hugely embarrassment. They fired him from something, I think. Anyway, yeah, Jones is an idiot.
The whole thing is stupid.
Yeah, so they did a bait and switch now. Trump was promising, after the ballroom thing, Trump was promising, oh, shoot, I thought I had it. He was saying that him and his friends were all going to pay for it. The tax dollars wouldn't have to go towards it. And now Lindsey Graham is saying it is going to be a bill, taxpayer money. I got to look for the clip of Trump saying it's not.
We're going to introduce legislation that would authorize $400 million to be spent to secure to build the presidential ballroom. Underneath, there will be a lot of military stuff. There will be a Secret Service annex, and we've paid for it by offsetting it with custom fees. But the estimate is $332 million. We're going to do $400 million because I think it's probably going to take more. Private donations can be used, but I think they should be used for buying china and stuff like that. Underneath this ballroom will be infrastructure that is national security centric. The ballroom itself will avoid the dilemma of having to leave the White House grounds with future presidents and this president's to go downtown in a place that's less secure. President Trump said to me yesterday, we need the ballroom not just for me but for future presidents. He literally could have left his bedroom, walked out the back of the White House, and been at the ballroom. That's what needs to happen when you have 1,000 or 2,000 people gathered in today's environment. And the sooner we get the ballroom built, the more hardened it is, the better for the country. So I hope and pray that most people in the Senate after Saturday night will...
It's crazy how this seems to be such a priority. Did Trump campaign on this? Is this one of the big promises? It's like he promised you no new wars and like deportations or whatever. And what are we getting? Iran war and a ballroom? A ballroom so Trump can...
And he like destroyed like historic places in the White House too, doing this. Like he fucked this place. It's already done too. Like there's no reversing it. I don't think. I think it would. Yeah. Like they're not going to be able to do it. So it's just like.
Yeah, that's funny. He already destroyed everything. It's already a construction zone, and now they're saying $400 million taxpayer dollars.
Yeah. It's like they did that knowing that. Oh, well, now we have to do it since everything's destroyed. Like they're even if somehow they don't get this. Through the next person they have to do something about, the whole thing is it's a mess. It's totally chaotic. I wonder how much planning or per day or percentage wise of his time is spent fucking around this ballroom versus Iran. I wonder, what I mean? Like it's crazy.
How much focus?
So stupid.
Alabama yeoman sent $5 on Rumble. Alex is saying that because over a decade ago there was an article that said Charles said his family is related to Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, I figured that's something stupid like that.
Yeah, even if there is some loose truth like that, like, okay, so what? He drinks blood like Dracula in the movies? That's kind of the impression he's trying to give people.
Well, yeah, and like the idea that like European nobility would be like related to each other through very, very distant cousin lines is like kind of the most obvious thing of all time.
Yeah. And what's annoying, he's calling it's all satanic, but it's always been Christian. So you're saying like all the leading, most influential Christians of the country that like America came from is satanic? That's the world you live in, where everybody's secretly satanic? Secret satanic conspiracy ruling the world. They're Christians.
No legitimate vital interest
working with Jews.
Oh, except recreating the end scenes of They Live. Effing clown world.
I don't remember the end scene of They Live, to be honest.
They're all in that like ballroom. They're at this giant ballroom, and they all turn and look at them, and they're talking about how they're going to take over the world and stuff. Good joke.
So here's Trump promising in 2025. He said he's going to pay for it with his own money. What a bullshitter.
At the White House, it would actually be a beautiful addition. It's going to cost nothing. I'll spend the whole thing myself. It will do a big, beautiful room, but we could use it at the White House.
He's lying when he starts to say things like this.
Myself, it will do a big, beautiful room. Spend the whole thing. Cost nothing. I'll spend the whole thing myself. It will do
the whole thing myself.
Room, but we could use it at the White House. You know what they do when they have a big ceremony? To put up a tent. And somehow I think we've outgrown the tent stuff, right? Don't you think? But we could use at the White House. It would actually be a beautiful addition.
That's a tell he's lying.
I'll spend the whole thing myself. It will do
I'll spend the whole thing myself. Now they want $400 million because of this attack. I just saw the Micah Dank just said. I saw some people posting this also that Trump's terrible crop. Trump's blueprint looks awful lot like the Third Temple.
Yeah, I saw so many conspiracy videos showing that there are people like breaking it down and showing that it's the exact measurements, laying it out of the temple. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I saw conspiracies too about like they're saying it's a cover. It's all a cover for something else, some other. I assume we already had military shit underground around the White House. They do. They got escape places and bunkers and stuff under there for sure.
Maybe not there in the exact grounds. Maybe there's something small, but I think what he wants is a whole area. Have you seen that movie, Civil War? Have you seen that?
No.
So the premise or the ending of it is that they're like storming, or the whole country is marching. All these different militias and Texas and California are marching towards DC because the vice president, who's kind of like Vance, by the way, in it, he like declares himself like dictator, and they head there, and the whole thing is like this like bunkered up White House. So it's almost like they got the meme, something related to that, if that makes sense. It's like he sees himself as like this like hunkered down king, and he feels the pressure. It's gonna be weird moving forward with it.
A Fuhrer bunker chat says he wants a whole city in a bunker with hospitals and everything they need.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Dore said Trump switched contractors to some Jew ran one who builds synagogues. That's funny. Of course he did.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, everybody's sharing this clip now. Mark Levin calling for quote unquote Nazis and jihadis to be banned from social media. Let's see this one.
Protected too, but I'm not first time things like this have happened, but it really is problematic because so much of it is protected. And you heard people say, "Don't you believe in the First Amendment?" They don't even know what the First Amendment believes. Do you want to deplatform people? You know, the libs do that. I don't have any problem with deplatforming Nazis or jihadis. I don't have any problem with deplatforming them. What does that mean?
And mind you, he calls literally anybody that criticizes Israel for anything, or Jews, even mentions Jews, either a jihadi or a Nazi. And he has no problem with it. Dude, this guy's such a stereotype, man. Just imagine that something like this has been such an influential leader in conservatism for so long.
Deplatforming them. A government law? No. It means that X or Twitter or Facebook or Amazon with Twitch and so forth says, you know what?
We should ban Jewish supremacists. How about that?
The other thing too is he has no followers. He's such a tiny. Have you seen his YouTube? He has got like no viewers. The amount of influence he has, just because he's literally like Jewish and Trump respects him. That's all he has. He has no.
He's not on Fox anymore? I thought he has a show on Fox. He has like a once a week show on Fox or something.
Yeah, I think he has like the once a week show on Fox, and that gets dog shit ratings. But his like YouTube and all of his other things, they get no ratings. None of his social media gets any. Facebook, none of those things get any or views or anything like that.
You're a lowlife. We're not paying, get off our platform. What's wrong with that?
Our
Called
platform.
private enterprise. I got no problem with that. I mean, what if they have this horrific pornography on it? Is that okay? No, it's not okay. What if they have a bunch of...
It's funny. That's funny because it was Jews, or some Jews, not all Jews, but it was some Jews that pushed for free speech law and First Amendment to allow pornography on things in the first place. And now they're trying to use the other side of the argument to censor us. It's crazy. He gets ratioed by a rotten potato on X. No, it's rotten bread.
His videos don't even break 5K views. 1.4K, 1.5K, 1.6K. Oh, here's a 4K. So this is the guy who has this much. That's crazy.
It's Trump's favorite. Trump's always saying, "Tune in to Mark Levin. It's the best."
Yeah.
Drug addicts, shooting up all the time. Is that okay? No, that's not okay. Because our kids have access to it. People who are impressionable have access.
Are Jewish supremacists that think they're chosen by God and can predict the future and we're all meant to follow them one day? Is that allowed on the platform?
What if they had people screaming at the top of the lungs saying, assassinate this guy and assassinate that guy? Well, they shouldn't do that. Why? What's the standard? You need to have a...
I don't know. Call them everybody Amalek. Maybe are people allowed to call other people Amalek? Or should that be censored? Is that a call for genocide?
Standard. What should the law be? What does the Constitution say? I just think we've taken this too far because we're not even talking about political speech, which is the most protected of all speech. We do limit speech. We limit speech pornography. We limit speech cigarettes on the air, and so we limit.
Hold on. Did he say limit speech is cigarettes?
Speech booze. We limit speech drugs, and I could go on and on and on. There's different types of speech. There's commercial speech, right? There's religious speech. There's political speech. They're babbling buffoons. We see that all over the internet. Most of that is protected too, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the kind of speech that really gets in the head of people who want to do grave damage to other people. Incitement. And I'm not talking about it in an ambiguous way. When you get a guy that talks about killing a senator, oh, I really didn't mean it. Or when you get a guy that says, yeah, I don't know if there's really rape. Can you prove?
Isn't that already the law, that incitement to violence is illegal? I thought it was. Why is he acting like it's not to try to push for more?
So for that October 7th, well, he's allowed to say that. But in the pattern of what this person is saying, what is it that they're trying to do? Have a real discussion? No, he'll say that, but he's not. The overthrow of the country? Let me ask you this. Do you think the founders would have put up with this?
Dude, would they have put up with you? That's the real question.
Discrimination against colored or gay people in your private goyim business?
Yeah.
Unconstitutional. Have a problem with how Jews run their business? Private business.
Good point.
Pure double standard.
Yep.
F11.
Yeah, good point. Dude, the chutzpah to say the founders would not roll in their graves at the sight of Mark Levin and what he does. Crazy. Ben Shapiro says the U.S. has been an unreliable ally to Israel. Never good enough, huh? See, they think of Edom as always betraying them. They don't think of us as greatest allies ever.
I believe the Trump administration did not handle the narrative well and let this perception that the tail was wagging the dog with respect to the comments you made earlier that Israel somehow had bullied the president into the war. Are you worried, as I am, that Israel is going to lose even more support in the U.S. as the perception is we've been dragged into this war by Israel?
From my position, if Israel is safer and the United States is safer and the poll numbers are worse for the foreseeable future, then that is a deal that is well worth making.
I believe the Trump administration did not handle the narrative well.
Imagine if you were like a diehard Republican, how mad that would make you hearing that. Holy shit.
Let's hear it again.
If Israel is safer and the United States is safer and the poll numbers are worse for the foreseeable future, then that is a deal that is well worth making.
Wow. No matter how unpopular a president is with the public and Americans, as long as Israel's safer and doing better, it's worth it. Of course. But don't talk about their dual loyalty, though, dude. Then you're a Nazi and they want you banned from all of the internet.
Well, it's not just that too. So within their own framework, they're saying like, oh, if we get rid of these Iranians, it's going to be protection for Americans and Israel. That's just bullshit. That dichotomy is stupid. Iran is not going to get a nuke and then nuke America. That's not happening. So they don't get to play this game where they get to pretend like, oh, getting rid of Iran is going to also make America safer. That's bullshit. If anyone thinks that, they're just wrong. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
We got some breaking news here. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted. Little revenge for Russia stuff.
David?
Russia investigations, it looks like.
The Justice Department has indicted former FBI Director James Comey for a second time. Justice correspondent David Spunt's got the story. He's here in Washington. Hey, David, they're going to go at it again.
John, they're going at it again, not even a year after they went at it after the first time. We're told this via several law enforcement sources. We're told this is related to an Instagram post from the former FBI director last year when he posted on the beach. You may remember there was shells that said 8647 that were in that pairing of 8647, and he said something along the lines of, isn't this a curious formation that I just found while walking on the beach? Well, critics to that post immediately pointed out that 86, at least in the restaurant world, means to get rid of or to kill something from a menu, 47 meaning the 47th president of the United States. So Comey did speak with the Secret Service, did speak with federal
Wait, for that? For the Instagram post?
That's why he's being indicted. Yeah.
That is the dumb dude.
Yeah. All he's got to say is 86 also means like get rid of something. Like get him out of office, that type of thing.
Interviewed last spring or early last summer, shortly after that happened. No charges were ever filed, but now it appears that he has been indicted today. We're working to learn more about the indictment.
They're going to throw him in jail for that? That would be crazy.
That would be
doubtful.
There's no way that's going to go through. There's just that's not happening. Like I don't know. Like Trump can't even get like the simplest thing through the judicial system. The idea that he's going to get that through is fucking crazy. It's like one of these things that he does where he did this with the tariffs, right? Where he puts them through in a way where, you know, in the first administration he could have put them through he put them through this one way and they were fine. And then the second administration, he puts them through in a way that he knows can get overturned. It's almost like he's doing that with this indictment. Right? Like this is like a political play, a way to try to curry some more support, try to get his base like fired up or get people fired up for him again. But that's not going to work with this. It's just not work. That is not going to work. That is the worst way to try to go after Comey. He should have went after him 5 other ways at least.
The Great Gorshek sent $5.
Thank you, fam.
What up, fam? Flexed biceps emoji. Flexed
biceps emoji. Guys, no more emojis. They look cool on the screen, but it reads them out, and I don't like it. Maybe that's a setting. I don't know. It should be. Anyway, this is a funny one. She's such a joke, dude. It's so disgraceful that we have people like this that are going to come in and be this dumb in Congress. Choosing the path. Chabad podcasts asking if Trump is Moshiach. Oh shit.
You can go to those whenever you want. I just
yeah.
You don't have in there, so you can.
No, I hadn't seen that. We'll get that up here right now. Watch Ilana.
It's 20 minutes long. I haven't been able to get through the whole thing yet, but I'm sure it's good.
It was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI. The last time the Alien Enemies Act was
World War XI. Oh, they cut it out on this one. She says like a second after that, after she realized what she did. World War XI. She's in Congress and she doesn't even know that it's World War I and World War II. There is no World War XI. Can you believe this?
Yeah, like there's no situation in which I could possibly be reading World War II and think in my brain that's an 11. There's just
0% chance.
Zero. If I sat here for 10 million times reading that word in my life, I would never read it as, World War XI. That's insane.
Is it because she's dumb or because she's like an immigrant? Even immigrants should know World War I and World War II. It's just, I think she's dumb. I think really dumb and ignorant, uneducated and ignorant.
I don't mean to be super rude here, but I know a ton of people who would fuck this up though too. That I went to shit like that. You know what I mean? That you show them a map of like North America and they can't even figure that out.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Anyway, okay, yeah. Oh wait, you said it was long, right? That thing popped up. Let's see here. Is this Chabad podcast? I want to read it in the Vilify voice because the way you wrote it. Is this Chabad podcast episode titled "The Goyim Question: Life After Moshiach"? They ask the questions: Is Trump Moshiach for the Gentiles? What will the rule of Gentiles be in the time of Gula? Will they be obligated in the mitzvos? Will they speak Lashosh HaKodesh or other languages?
I haven't listened to the whole thing yet.
Fresh topics about the Moshiach. It might not say he's the Moshiach. Moshiach for Gentiles.
I mean, it's framing.
It's weird that they show Trump for that. Like he's the Moshiach.
Alabama Yeoman sent $5 on Rumble. Hank Johnson keeps getting reelected, and that is the dumbest legislator ever. IQ 70 tops.
Is that the one that said, I remember Alex Jones used to always play the clip. He said that if you have too many people on an island that it'll tip over. Do you guys remember that one?
I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think that's the same guy. I'm pretty sure.
I can look it up.
I haven't gone through that podcast yet. I'll go through it, but it's going to be interesting. I'm sure they're going to say a bunch of stuff. They're going to call him Cyrus the Great, all those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Guam tipping over. I couldn't believe I heard that shit.
Shout out to Apple Chomping Ankh for finding that one. That was a good one. That's a Chabad clip. Like it's like a 30-minute podcast or whatever to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I posted the rest of that stuff in there too to go over there.
So David Icke is getting in, or I think he's been trailblazing for years, the Epic of Enoch. Everybody's Enoch maxing now. You know, I lumped him in with all these people. Demons are running everything, correctly. And now he's out with I guess the Bible's real now, huh, David Icke? So all the Bible's fake and mind control, but Enoch, that's secretly real. Let's see. He's coming out with a new original series trailer. Oh, there's a new trailer for House of Dragon 3, too, that I wanted to watch. But let's see David Icke's Enoch trailer.
There were giants in the earth in those days.
Oh, my God.
And also thereafter.
So now we're believing the Bible's real now, huh?
Angels watching from the heavens. Silent, obedient, eternal.
Is he officially a Gnostic?
This is the story.
Pretty much. I don't know about official, but yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's a Gnostic thing. You know that, right? Like the Book of Enoch is tied to Gnosticism very hardcore. Like they were all I would say all early Christians were into it, or all Second Temple Judaism groups were into it to different varying degrees. And the Gnostic Christians, I think it's Apocryphum of John, right? And there's like another one, something of the Archons. Those two are very Enochian Gnostic literature.
World War XI is gonna make me chuckle all day. Shait.
Dude, I saw that clip yesterday and I chuckled and I was just like, she really is so stupid. How is this? If she gets reelected after this, I mean, the people that elect her don't care, though. They probably would make the same mistake.
I was going to say, they'd make the exact same thing. They'd probably do the same thing.
We've been told. But there are other texts that tell the rest of the story, where angels came down and mixed with humankind. We were enlightened, but also condemned. One man saw it all, a prophet, taken from the world of men and made to witness the...
Oh, sure. So now we believe Jewish prophets. It's pseudepigrapha, too. Do 2 minutes of research, David Icke and Iconic, and realize that Enoch is not really written by Enoch, who was a real prophet.
It's not even possible.
Jewish mysticism.
So stupid.
Yeah. This is frustrating because I thought David Icke was exposing the Torah is fake and these Jewish Abrahamic religions as a mind control system. But then now he pushes this slop because it aligns with his demons, dimensions, reptilian stuff.
Divine. His story the church suppressed for 1,000 years.
Guys, I guess I'm not cortisol maxing and seething as much as I thought I did. I'm like low heart rate.
You're still alive, dude?
Okay? I'm alive, yeah.
Imagine if we just had about our ideas like this, though. Can we please get some artists? Can we please get some directors or movie makers or people who are good at AI to like make our version of this? What, are you dying?
61 beats per minute. No, I'm just chilling, I guess.
Optic Prime sent $5 on Rumble. Jesus descending from the clouds like Perseus riding Pegasus may have coerced a mythological society in 200 AD. But it does not hold up under modern scientific scrutiny.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Can we please get somebody to make a movie like this, like about these ideas that we talk about here? Like, imagine if like it was Jesus walking and then he like disappeared as if he never existed, and it does the music with the violins and then shows the book, and it's like, what if this never happened and then the books disappear? Like, can somebody please make this? Like, we can do this. AI exists. People I know are out there. I don't have the skills for this. I just don't. I just don't. We need people to make this kind of stuff because this is what gets people like fired up and ready to go. We just need this, except for that Jesus is fake and Jewish. This, but not so Gnostic-y and retarded.
Yeah. I wonder if they're making a crazy money with all of it. I wonder how much money Icke has. Like all the books he's sold over the years. He's got like almost 1 million followers on Twitter, and I'm not sure about if he's on Facebook still. They gave him his YouTube channel back. He's almost got 1 million followers over there also. They've got the Iconic. I have no idea how many subs they have there. Probably a good amount of paid subs. This has really good production value.
Yeah, this is nice.
And it's promoting Jewish mysticism slop. Who is this chick?
I don't know, but the way this is like cut and like the filters they're using and everything reminds me of the History Channel or Gaia. Whoever is producing this is I'd bet $100 they're related to the Gaia network. I don't know if you've ever seen their stuff or History Channel. It's like that in that exact same style, the way they do their trailers for like ancient aliens type of the content.
Really low on info here. It's just like going through a
Yeah,
library with the flashlight in the dark, reading the book. Super.
What they did corrupted everything.
Super
And
deep.
it left something behind.
Ooh, a skull.
Something that made.
I wonder if that was AI. They didn't get an actor to dress up in this shit, or they didn't buy this on B-roll. This is probably AI.
And it left something behind. Something that may still walk among us.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Maybe it's not David Icke doing this. This is somebody that works for them is doing this documentary.
The story was buried in history. And now we're about to find it.
I think black people are really into David Icke these days. They're probably I see a lot of clips of black people talking about lizard people and shit. I feel like they're Ike maxing over there.
Everybody is. Candace, like, you know, I've been covering the Enoch obsession for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, Candace, of course.
Okay. The new trailer came out for House of Dragon 3. I want to watch it. Sorry, guys. No. The white blonde hair race is a savage race. Sounds a little anti-white propaganda. Movie trailer maxing. Yeah. Doesn't look.
Neil knows a lot about Game of Thrones and stuff too. He's into that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Looks medieval. Yep, that's the genre. Fantasy medieval. Okay, now these are some of your clips. Should we go there, or I haven't watched you, man? How about we
There's
get
tons
these
of
out of
them.
the way?
Whichever one you want to do.
One of your viral ones, 1.4 thousand likes. Rabbi Mizrachi weighs in on the Clav situation. Clav announces he's pregnant.
But I don't have a choice. Maybe God won't give me a wife because I don't keep anything. Or even if I get married, what kind of a girl will I get? Not modest, not Shomer Shabbat, all day lies, all day texting with guys. What kind of a wife, what kind of a mother I will have? I'm not interested to be religious, but I don't have a choice. If I stay the same bum I am in the clubs of Manhattan, smoking grass all day, walking like a goy everywhere I go, what kind of a girl will I get? The worst of the worst. It will always end very bad because there's zero values, zero modesty, zero holiness.
Pause it. How funny is that? Walking like a goy everywhere I go. That is a quality line from Mizrachi if I've ever heard one. How funny is this concept though? We were kind of talking about on the call on Sunday. I don't know if you understand or if people are picking up what he's putting down here, but he's basically saying the men just, even if you don't believe in the religion, you just have to go through, you have to do it anyway. You're going to get like a shitty wife and a shitty female and a shitty kid, like shitty kids. Like you're doing it for the woman, you're doing it for your children kind of idea, right? I saw a bunch of, in the replies, I saw a bunch of Jews like kind of lamenting at this fact. They were like, oh, this is our struggle. Like we have to be religious. It's kind of funny. They're very
just like the Christians do.
Stay the same bum I am in the clubs of Manhattan.
Corn Pop sent $5 where all my blonde Viking niggas at?
Right here, dude.
Smoking grass all day, walking like a goy everywhere I go.
Dude, that needs to be the soundbite right there.
Yeah, it's so good.
Dude, who you talking about, Mizrachi? This is my life.
All day, walking like a goy everywhere I go. What kind of a girl will I get?
That was Rasta Jesus he's talking about.
Rasta Jesus, yeah.
Always end very bad because there's zero values, zero.
Okay, that's good. We got to get the soundbite for that one. These stupid goy walking around like goy, smoking grass all day.
I was
Mizrachi
walking my dog earlier, and I thought to
I
myself,
always
"Oh, I
wonder
gotta
how
straighten
dumb
up a
this
little bit."
goyim sometimes can be.
He should call it goy nip. They went around chasing goy nip.
It's so good.
Mizrachi black pill 3,000 likes on this one. That's crazy.
This is from this morning. I got so many of these. I could do this. I don't know what's going on with ever since I got banned. I was telling you earlier, but ever since I got banned, when my account got back, it's like it erased all of the suppression on my account. Some of my stuff has been going like this since I got back. It's pretty sick. This is a funny one. This is great. I like this. And that the reply that I put after it, you got to play that after this. Then
This is funny. This makes me think that he's talking about me because I always talk about my favorite rabbis.
I've gotten a lot of usage out of this tweet of his. I keep tweeting it with different quotes.
Oh yeah.
You bring me 100 Israeli soldiers, 10 of them say Shema Israel and read Tehillim and pray to God. Half of them are Russian goyim and other goyim. And the other ones, I'm Chiloni, earring over here, earring there, tattoo. When they join the army, 20-30% of them are gays, hate religion, hate rabbis, make fun against Hashem all day on the internet. That's the army.
See, he seethes when we make fun of the Jewish God, by the way. You hear that, Christians? They don't want you to be atheist. They want you to respect the God that he thinks chose him.
You think
That's
20
telling.
to 30% of the Israeli military is gay?
He seethes. Yeah, that's funny. Probably is. He
And half of
seethes.
them are Russian goyim.
he gets triggered by people mocking his God, and Christians also get triggered. Call it blasphemy.
Hate religion, hate rabbis, make fun against Hashem all day on the internet.
Dude, that's another one. Bro, we need to edit that with the clip from the other one, and it just make it sound like he's describing me. That Adam Green, and then we'll say all that shit. Rocks around like a goy, smoking grass all day, making fun of Hashem all day on the internet. These goy are so stupid. Like, make a fake edit.
And then to the other one, the ending of the clip. Oh, you'll see it here.
Yeah.
Religion, hate rabbis, make fun against Hashem all day on the internet.
Dude, that's me.
That's the army. So why should Hashem help us when half of our soldier makes fun at him all day and spit at the Torah and spit at the rabbis when the other side is willing to die for God? You understand why we lose? That's the situation. You think it's going to get any better?
He's so black-pilled, dude.
He thinks they're losing against Iran because they're not religious enough.
Yeah. That's his.
That's interesting. He said gay too, though. Yeah, we'll edit that part out, dude. Obviously, that's not.
They're only going to get worse. And that's the truth. You understand? It's said. Do you know that in Israel you have a law? I don't know if they changed it or not, but until a few years ago, this law was in effect for many, many years. You're not allowed to write B'siyata Dishmaya on a letter in the army. You're not allowed to write God willing or in God's help. You're not allowed to write the name of God in a military letter. Every Arab leader, Allah, wallah, la, 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 la. Every one of their speeches in the name of God, we will fight. The children of God, Cohen, Levi, people in Israel, great soldiers, great training. If you write in God we trust or God willing, you're going to go to jail. It's against the rule of the army in Israel.
No.
That's the truth.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that either. Don't they have rabbis for the army and they have Torahs and they do prayers? And what is he talking about?
Yeah, I'm mixed on this. I don't know. I had to look into it. I wasn't sure.
Sounds like some rabbi conspiracy theory.
I like
some
how
rabbi
he prefaced it with,
kvetching.
I don't even know if it's still a thing. Well, here you heard the next part. You're going to hear it here in a second. But this is how you should put that clip together.
If you would be God, who would you help? Who would you help? I love Arabs. I love Palestinians, and I'm gay, and I'm lefty, and I don't want anything to do with this Israeli murderer army.
Okay. No, we're not adding that in.
You got to see the reply then to it, because I think I found the Israeli army that he's talking about. I think
this one?
No. Funny reply to Mizrachi.
I love Arabs.
Okay, do you clip that one?
Oh, I did it wrong. Hold on.
I don't see it.
Hold on, I'm going to post it right now. I got
Maybe you did it in his replies?
I just posted it right
Weighs in on the collab situation. This one?
How dumb this
No, keep scrolling down. It'll be a little.
I love that everybody shares that clip now. Mizrachi, hands down. Mizrachi's everybody's favorite, apparently. This guy, dude, he's the worst.
That's funny.
That's the one that believed in
what I'm
Jesus.
talking about.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
This is the guy. This is who Mizrachi's talking about right here.
Is that Netanyahu's son?
It's Mizrachi, right?
Yeah. Dude, I don't like watching that. Oh, this rabbi. Remember, did you see me cover this rabbi the other day? Let's see the latest viral drop. I haven't watched it yet, but this first part is true. People don't want the truth. They want confirmation. Say 100 things they agree with. You're a genius. Poke their narrative once. You're the enemy and you're an idiot. It's fragility dressed up as faith. Ooh, dude. Burn. E-Crusader, burn.
Most people are not looking for the truth. They're looking for confirmation. No, they scroll until they find the person who agrees. They listen until something challenges them, and the moment it does, they're out. Not because the challenge was wrong, because their belief system was never strong enough to survive a single question. You can say everything someone agrees with. Say one thing that pokes at their narrative, they watch everything you build with them disappears overnight. Because that's how fragile their narrative was. That's exactly what Shlomo Melech said. Lo yev leitzachayich lo el chachom lo yailech. Alex doesn't like to be reproved. He will not listen to the wise. He doesn't avoid the wise because he's confident. He avoids them because he already knows what he might hear and he knows he can't handle it. The strength of a belief isn't how loud you hold it, it's how much challenge it can survive. If one question destroys your worldview, it was never a worldview. It was just confirmation bias. Most people are not
I can't stand his voice or his look. In fact, I'm heart rate maxing right now. I'm up 10 beats per minute from that rabbi. So, okay, no more of that rabbi.
So the rabbis do it to you? Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, Charlie Kirk. Let's do this. Charlie Kirk show talks about the conspiracies.
Performative. Here's the thing. I'm okay. My concern in the moment was just for Erica, for Mikey, others, and just to see the way that the reaction has been from this moment. And we're going to get into the details. We're going to get into the Secret Service, the perimeter. We have Susan Crabtree joining us next. We've got a great show in store for you. But my reaction is just that a shock and horror that people are alleging that Erica's reaction was somehow, performative. Up yours. Up yours.
Screw those people. That's disgusting.
Secondly, that this was staged to get sympathy for Trump or even for Erica or Turning Point. Up yours. Screw you.
This is actually a good test. Like, if you are a person where it is reasonable to you that assassination attempts are faked, are staged, just stop opining on public events because your brain is too cooked by television, by movies, by memes you read on the internet to think rationally about things.
Listen.
Period.
Yeah, I understand. COVID. That was a whole op. I get it. The Russia hoax. Op. I get there's reasons to be distrustful and to hold elected leaders' feet to the fire. I'm all on board with that. But for real, if you are going to assume that everything is the freaking Jews or everything is some staged 5D chess move.
It's not the freaking Jews, okay? Frickin' makes me laugh. It's not the freaking Jews, all right? Not everything's the freaking Jews.
And that leftists don't want you dead. I've got about 48 minutes of clips loaded up today to prove you wrong, to prove that you are missing the big E on the eye chart. And I said it before, but I'll say it again. When Charlie was with us, he was not afraid of the Jews. He was afraid of purple-haired jihadists that wanted him dead. He was afraid of trannies. He was afraid of wild, violent assassination.
Tranny-phobic.
Running amok on the left. And if you can't get it through your freaking head yet, I have nothing for you. To Blake's point, get off the internet. You are cooked. Your brain is toast. Wake up.
I do think some people are like timeline cooked.
We have put up with
the more I see it, dude, there's something. Like
he's right. He's right. Everybody's going. They're schizo maxing.
Everyone has lost their fucking minds, dude.
Yeah, we live in a schizocracy. The schizocratic method people following.
It's almost it's impressive with this latest shooting. Nobody cares already. It's not surprising. Everyone's kind of like numb to it, right? You can imagine in people's like brain how that's kind of playing out, right? That means like that's not good. Everyone's kind of like numb to the idea that the president almost got assassinated. That's fucking crazy. And everything else going on, obviously. No one gives a shit
Leftists?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't almost. It's not like the bullet whizzed by his head again this time. He
Yeah, but you know what I mean. There was
he got
another
stopped.
attempt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just the fact that there's an attempt now every, so
Yeah.
often, and nobody even. I mean, when you heard that, were you like, when compare it to Butler, Pennsylvania, when we first heard that, right? It was like, oh my God, it's something crazy happening, and now this thing happens,
Yeah.
and obviously it's different, right? But it's still kind of interesting how.
Yeah. Was there an attempt on Biden or Obama? I don't remember.
Biden there was, or I'm sorry, Obama. I know there was. I can't remember the exact circumstance, but I remember there definitely was with Obama.
Like where he had to get rushed off a stage or out of a room, or just like somebody said something online and had some weapons or something. Like I feel like maybe that happened, but I don't remember him being rushed off stage. I don't know. I'll have to look it up or chat GPT it. I got a funny little clip here to play after this one too.
Politicians going to No Kings rallies where they're holding signs saying "Kill all tyrants, they all must die." We have Hassan Piker saying "Blood in the streets." We have Destiny saying conservatives should be terrified of being in public.
As people were walking out of this event, they passed people with signs that said, "Kill all of them, death to tyrants."
Death to tyrants.
And those people knew what had happened, and they either made those signs in response to what happened, or they decided to wave them anyway. That is the kind of people you are dealing with.
And
in
we've
this
been
country.
putting up with it in this country like it's nothing. Like this is just the new normal. It can't be.
Hey, that's what you're going to get when you believe. If you believe in the Bible and you got Christ brain, you're going to have people that believe in all types of other nonsense too. That's just the way it goes. You made the bed. That's your audience. But they got a point to a degree. And also, it's like, it is lame that the right's in power. Are they doing anything to stop radical leftists? At least take out some radical leftists. At least break up their networks or do something. Hire Carlin to shut it down.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a Carlin Reich or something. Like they need to fucking step it up and actually like do something about the far left. I don't. It's kind of weird though, because it's not like this guy was in one of those groups or anything like that, right? It's like he's a liberal. Right? He wasn't like an anti-fascist or anything like that, or a member of one of these book clubs or any of these LARP groups that they're in. But there are millions of people in those groups, and they got a lot of assets and things like that. Like they could actually do something. They're far more organized than anybody on the right. You know what I mean? So Trump.
Well, they're not even being discussed. There's not even the impetus to go after the left because everybody's spurging about everything's an Israeli false flag. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But they should use this for that. Like, okay, like if we're gonna be doing like this like noble lie shit. Okay, there. That's a
like the left does to the right. They should be doing it back. You would think.
Exactly. We should be basically what should be happening right now is the Justice Department should basically be getting absolutely every single one of these like far left organizations that are even close to it and just shutting their shit down. Just the whole thing completely gone. Their funding, their tax exemption status, all of it just completely gone. Like they should that's what should be done, but they're not doing that.
Orgs to put them on lists and do hit pieces, get them banned everywhere. Like all the dirty tricks that they were doing to the right and the right wing should at least be reciprocated.
Yeah, like this should be like 10 times as bad as like Charlottesville was, like towards them. And also
anything Antifa does, it should be Charlottesville treatment for it, right?
Yeah.
Instead, they're shutting down quote unquote Nazis, right? Good point. Okay. Oh, check this out. Womp womp. Sign from God. What third world country thought it was a good idea to try to take this big ass truck on this little bridge? It's okay. They said a prayer. It's the Jesus truck, so they said a prayer before. And the driver's like,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Olha, alguém que deu. Corre pra salvar o motorista, corre! 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 Corre!
Corre!
Salvar o motorista! Bora! Bora!
Dude, the psycho Nibiru guy from yesterday is back again talking about my daughter. Dude, you are a psychopath. You are a psychopath, and you can go kick rocks. Hold on. Let me mute this guy. Forever. Ban forever. Stop talking about my daughter, you fucking psycho. All right, that's a nice little sign from God. This looks based, huh? Going to be lit. I can't wait to see this. Hopefully we'll get some banger tweets or clips.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I mean, I don't think that there's any way that we're not gonna get banger clips. I don't even know if we can clip it. We might have to do like a live react to the whole thing. I don't know, man. This is gonna be hilarious.
America first united with the blue and the red, the right and the left. America first united. One nation, no division. Unless, of course, you're not Abrahamic, because everybody on here promotes the Bible is real and thinks the Jewish God and Messiahs are real. But yeah, no division. We oppose war.
Ridiculous.
This is such a crazy thing to chat GPT up for a live stream with this cast of characters. It's going to be so cringe. Super dumb. We oppose the Iran war. No more fighting for other countries' interests. We demand Epstein justice, full transparency, no cover-ups, justice for victims. We oppose foreign money. No foreign money in our elections. Dude, is this the new party? Is this the new right?
Evan Kilgore was gonna save us, guys. He's gonna save the white race, dude. He's a really smart and intelligent guy. Jake Shields, getting flat earth the fuck up.
Yeah. A UFC fighter, a comedian.
For Leonardo, she knows all about all the things. She definitely doesn't fuck up the Bible every single day.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be great.
Vrillium, a degenerate leftist a few years ago, turned ortho bro influencer, and of course Joel Webbin. Wouldn't be based and Christ pilled without Joel Webbin. Amy Dangerfield. Don't
Vrilify, famous from the Vrilify.
Oh yeah, the Vrilify video. I was like, I don't know much about her to say anything, but
she's got a good Vrilify video. Did you see Nick's reaction to like those people that did that CNN story and stuff like that about him and how he was so upset about the whole thing? Did you see that clip?
Is it from his new show yesterday?
Yeah, from yesterday. I just posted it.
I did not know.
Yeah, but he is sick of his followers. I can't wait for his reaction to this. He is so mad about his He's ready, dude. He's ready. He's sick of his followers. He's ready to give it up, I think. He's ready to retire.
Okay, we'll watch it. Here we go.
He's totally done with. He doesn't want anybody representing him.
African American source sent $3,000.
$3,000.
Washington Post is more racist thinking African.
Dude, this guy's so rich already. He's like making hundreds of thousands a month, and this guy's gonna send him $3,000. It's crazy.
I mean, this is one of his big donors. This is one of the guys that was in the New York Times article, or the Washington Post article. This is one of his biggest donors, and his name is Niger Soros. And they Washington
and he's
Post
about to shred him right now. He just gave him $3,000. No. He's about to talk shit. Oh,
he's not gonna. No. You'll see.
All right.
This thinking African American source is a racist name. It is a dinosaur from the country African American. You uneducated liberal fucks. Also, fuck AF_deplorables for doing that CNN hit piece on Enoch and even attacking Chief Trumpster by accusing him as a MAGA tard. New fags are ruining it.
Thank you for the massive super chat. What?
MAGA Trumpster. I haven't seen him online forever.
Oh, Niger Soros.
They're all gone. They all deleted their
accounts.
accounts.
Huge super chat. I really appreciate it. Yeah, they censored Niger. Hey, man, it's just a word. How about that CNN thing? Oh, my gosh, dude. That only made it. I'm not going to lie. That made it a lot worse. I was already like, man, I'm going to quit the show. Like, just annoyed by everything and everybody.
So done with
and
his
then
viewers,
that happened,
man.
and I'm like, oh my god.
He wants to quit his show? That's crazy.
It's over that CNN story or that.
I'm surprised to hear him. Oh, it was so cringe. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch that CNN thing.
Dude, it was so cringe. And his Telegram he was putting out, he was like, he was so mad about how they looked and what they were wearing, and he was just like, do not represent me, right? And then we have I don't think he signed off on this America First Fest that Leonardo and Jake Shield and these guys are doing either, so I'm sure.
Yeah, where's Nick on that one? He doesn't want any part of that cringe, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely not, dude. No way.
Although he shouts out Vrillium, he's worked with Joel Webbin, Jake Shields. So why would he know? Why is he not there? Evan Kilgore, they should be.
How could it get any worse?
Amy Dangerfield.
These two,
Brilify fame.
And you know that this like CNN journalist reaches out to these chuds. Hey, how about we put on our Nick Fuentes t-shirts and our Groiper hats and let's go groip out on the town. It's like, could you die? Like, why would you think that's a good idea? Oh my goodness. These like two absolute chuds. Look at us. We're in our Nick Fuentes t-shirt and hat with our knee socks pulled all the way up.
He was so mad at what they were wearing.
Dude shoes.
This is the dude.
Like, why do you watch my show? Why do you like me? Could you watch something else? Maybe I need to switch it up a little bit.
I have some ideas for the switch up, Nick. I have.
Yeah. Away from the Catholic grift.
Like, isn't there a sports game on somewhere, something? Can't you change the channel? Isn't there like a football game on or something?
Maybe a
Isn't
church?
there like a
Nick?
sports
Maybe
bar
church?
you need to get to? Why are you watching my show? Can you fuck
This is who he's talking about.
Dude, he took a picture of the shoes zoomed in. It's like, please kill me.
Goodness, they're sitting there in the Airbnb leaning forward like, all right, yeah, Groiper. Spilling to the CNN journalist, he's going to make them look like complete idiots. Nah, we did it, Nick. Nick, we saved the movement. It's like, it hurts. Like it hurts. It's painful. Like it actually hurts me deeply.
They got the matching Nick shirts. Dude, if I saw these guys, I would think they were a gay couple.
I'm not long for this world.
He's so over this dude.
Yeah.
How funny is this? He's done. He's ready, dude.
The pictures just kept getting better. They're like taking pictures of each other in the hotel room. Like, here we go. Look, Mom, we're going to be on CNN. It's like, oh my gosh.
This is so funny.
I love this. I saw this
the
this
ride
morning. I was
just
dying.
never ends. It's the same shit.
The other guy they showed too, in Washington Post and New York Times, he had tattoos all over his face.
Oh yeah.
The other Groiper.
Over and over. So.
Nick has Goyim fatigue. Yeah, he has for a while. Goyim in abundance.
I appreciate that they deactivated.
They bullied these guys so bad after they went on CNN pretending or being Groipers, and they deactivated their accounts.
Goodness.
Good on them.
And I listen,
Loyal
I feel
soldiers.
bad saying that because like I'm sure they like me. They like me, they like the show, or maybe they used to. I feel bad shitting on them, but like, come on, man. Please. Like, if you're gonna represent me, just I know they mean well. I'm sure they're nice guys, they mean well. But we have to be a little bit ruthless. I used to say these things. I used to tell people, if you're fat, go away. Like, if you're fat, if you're ugly, like,
no
don't
pictures.
rep the movement. Don't say, hey, I'm a Groiper. Like, go get skinny. Then
Remember the Groiper that was on InfoWars? Remember? You don't know what I'm talking about with like the shoe polish in his hair or something?
Yeah, I do.
The fat brown one that was on InfoWars.
say you're a Groiper. Get skinny, get rich, find an outfit that works.
Oh, he's totally good with Tenryo, though. That's peak optics, peak Groiper optics.
Then say you're a Groiper. Looks maxing used to be a part of our protocol. I used to be a little bit harsher about this. Then the movement got way too popular, and now everybody wants to bandwagon on, which is great, I guess. Like, I love the enthusiasm, but we got to represent ourselves well. So we got to dress well. We got to be skinny. We can't look completely ridiculous.
They weren't even that fat.
So anyway, so that was that. Yeah, I didn't even get to really talk too much about that, but I appreciate the huge super chat.
Okay, I saw a clip of him today also with Keith Woods in Rome, and it was like, he was like, oh, this guy recognized me. He was super handsome guy, recognized me. It's like, okay, bro, settle down. Here's the dude. This is so embarrassing. He's like, everybody's making fun of me and threatening to kill me and rape me, but I'm still a loyal member of the cult regardless. This is before he deactivated, though, before the bullying.
I consider myself a Groiper, and I know everyone's saying I'm not a Groiper and giving me death threats and telling me to kill myself and that they're going to rape me, and that's fine. I don't really care. He comes on and just brutally attacks me and calls us idiots, whatever. I just don't really care. I'm not even going to take it to heart because I know he does a lot of this stuff. Like, he wants the reactions, the clips. But I support him and I want him to do well. I'm going to keep doing my thing, though. I'm going to keep, posting America First content. And I do have a lot of followers on Instagram, so I think clipping the show helps him. Obviously, a lot of people, I think, have found his show through my Instagram by asking, like, where can I find Nick? And, 40-something thousand followers. I have videos with 2 million views. I consider myself
a griper, dude.
And I know
you guys need to get business clipping. More clippers. Clip economy. Clipocracy. King Charles says the Christian faith is a firm anchor in daily inspiration. See what I'm saying about how, it's satanic, and Alex Jones calling Christians that run things Satanist is...
The Christian faith is a firm anchor and daily inspiration that guides us, not only personally...
Christian faith. The Judeo-Christian faith guides us in everything we do, and bringing in masses of immigrants into England and arresting all the Nazis.
Funny how Nick now wants his fan base to look skinny and healthy for his public image when he used to promote eating fast food and not working out.
Not used to eat fast food and work out. That's still, I know that is kind of funny. It's like they promote eating McDonald's all the time and working out is gay, and then he's get mad when people. Now he wants an audience of looks maxers like clavicular. Thank you, Thor's Rune. Good point. Good contradiction.
He's right that it's like a new thing though, it's like a new. He said it's his new, all of his new followers, because people who join after 10/7 don't realize it. But like Nick kind of like was born out of against that kind of thing, like talking to the media and that then doing things in public. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of what started Nick his like. His rise, I guess you could say. So like
they should be smarter. Like I would be mad too if somebody that watches me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I was a groiper, I would absolutely know, like, okay, the lore is that we don't go out and do that, right? Like that's what the lore is. And that the fact that these guys didn't know that, he has to do like some sort of like groiper onboarding training program or something and catch some of these motherfuckers up, because it's crazy that they don't know this. Like they should have.
He needs to warn every show: do not talk to the media or be photographed unless you got peak optics.
I mean, he says it a lot. I don't know what these guys are doing. So
yeah,
but apparently they need it a little.
These two idiots going on CNN and answering questions and portraying themselves as groipers and devoted followers of Nick, and they're going to be judged harshly, and he's going to be represented by them. That's annoying.
In no way should anybody ever do that. Basically,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Together as members of our community.
Okay, we're Christ maxing with the King of England, and also here's another one.
It is irreplaceable, the special ingredient in our relationship. As President Trump himself observed during his state visit to Britain last autumn, the bond of kinship and identity between America and the United Kingdom is priceless and eternal. It is irreplaceable and unbreakable.
Usually they use those terms for our relationship with Israel. Hey, English love.
The special ingredient in our relationship.
How nice. Okay, let's do Stuckey now, and then we'll do James Tabor.
Oh shit, I forgot about Tabor. There's so much good stuff.
Mm-hmm. We also got a clip of this one's pretty short. Let's do this too before we move on to the Christian deconstruction. Andrew Wilson. Oh, this is the same Uncensored America that's doing the panel that we just covered, right? Uncensored America? I think that's what it was.
We still have control of it. What did I say? In the future, it'll go down.
We'll see. I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case,
but
that's not the case right now. And Americans are struggling financially, and now here we are.
Dude, Owen's suit, his clothes is mogging Andrew so hard right now. You can't have your safari loose, bad-fitting button-up when he's got the fitted suit.
Big swag fellas.
Hold on, before you get to this.
Rumble. We should all be on halosteroids and Ozempic so this doesn't happen to Adam.
Not
Like, just go to the
Ozempic.
gym.
Yeah.
You go to the gym and lift weights and eat right. Like, just don't eat like a ton of carbs and sugar and stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on, real quick before you get to this clip. Have you seen this Michael Tracy subplot of the whole shooting thing? Like, have you been paying attention to this?
Yeah, fighting with Acosta.
Dude, they just posted a clip of like part of it, and I posted it in the chat a little bit ago. But these people are making like AI videos of putting Michael Tracy in the movie Fight Club, and it's some of the funniest shit of all time. Like, I need to see the Michael Tracy Fight Club version now. Dude, what a
I didn't
hero.
see
What a
any of the
champion.
clips.
You're gone. Out.
Look at her.
Who are you? What's wrong?
So they say he attacked her. He didn't attack her. What are you talking about? Wow, so they just lied. Their original story was that he like charged at them and attacked them, and that is not what happened at all. Like, that's what they're saying happened. Like, what a bunch of bullshitters.
Look, he's got
Also,
his
this is
fist
the
clenched hard.
Dude, I can't
He's ready to
believe
rock.
this timeline. Hanania and Tracy are like actually just right on stage.
You're not going outside.
This is the Substack event. Maybe you can get it.
So that was it.
Maybe you're.
Yeah, if you guys sign up for my Substack, maybe I'll get invited to this cool party one day.
Yeah, Michael Tracy and Adam Green can beat up some of these idiots.
Okay, let's see. Schroyer and Wilson. They were debating: is Trump is Trump a success or something like that?
We are in another war in the Middle East, and we're sick of it.
Are you going to blame market speculators?
I'm going to blame Trump for getting us into another war on Israel's behalf. Yes, I am going to blame Trump for that. He did that.
So help me out here. Can you tell me all of the downsides of Donald Trump killing pedophiles in the Middle East?
What?
First of all, do you know every single person? Were those schoolgirls pedophiles?
It's institutionalized in the Iranian
No. We're the 200 schoolgirls pedophiles.
Oh, so we're doing. Oh my God! Hold on, pause it. I'm gonna freak out. I hate when people do this. So we're doing neoconservatism for the age of consent. Is that what we're doing? So instead of spurning democracy, basically that was the whole idea of George W. Bush. Oh, we're gonna build girls' schools in this country and that country. It's the exact same thing. So what? Andrew Wilson's a neocon now? What the hell are you talking about? We're not gonna go enforce the age of consent around the world and topple governments to put their age of consent the way we see it. Meanwhile, America has some of the highest ages in the entire planet. So are we just going to overthrow every government in the world? Fuck off, Andrew, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, such a bad argument as to why it's good to bomb Iran.
A good argument that's actually to the point and the heart of the issue. He always does these fuck games playing around the edges of the topic. The question is Iran good for America, and is it a good thing or not? Not this whole fucking sideshow he's doing. He's a pathetic loser.
But that aside, no, of course not. But there's going to be deaths inside of a war.
Okay, so it is a war.
Yeah, I didn't say it wasn't a war.
Does he need
I'm not going to
congressional
quibble
approval?
over the word, even though there's no ground invasion, there's no boots on the ground, there's none of that. I just want to know, how is the global interest served? You're so concerned about pedophiles. He killed one of the most major ones who's ever existed since 1970.
But couldn't you argue that our government is pedophiles too? I guess it's not as institutionalized as it is with child marriage in Iran, so no. But yeah, people would.
1970s.
It's so stupid.
It's good when pedophiles bomb other pedophiles, right?
We're not overthrowing them for that reason. This is so stupid. Yeah. Like 100+ countries have probably 200+ countries have similar laws. What are we talking about? We're not doing that. We're not doing this for their fucking age of consent laws. You State Department lackey, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, that's a crazy cope.
It is so dishonest, and the fact that he's even tolerated in like the larger dissident right sphere is fucking sickening. He should be laughed the fuck out of the room.
The Constitution of Iran that you can marry 9-year-old girls, dude. And by the way, Khomeini,
that's good.
Khomeini, hang on, almost done. Khomeini was married to a 15-year-old. Perhaps by the lunar cycle could have been 14. His son was married to a 14 or 15-year-old. A lot of his high command were married to children as well. Trump killed all of them without a single boot on the ground.
Great. And I'm sure after.
Okay, so let me get this straight.
Hold on.
So we're going to protect. Sorry.
There was only like 10 seconds left in the clip.
And the entire family, I'm sure that the Iranians are going to be less radicalized because of that. So I'm not
radicalized. What do you mean? How do you get more radicalized than marrying children, dude?
What do you think they're going to stop?
What are you talking about?
You think they're going to stop?
No. Well, I'm just saying. How do you get more radical? You're like, oh, the Iranians are going to get more radicalized.
All right, he's really been out of shape about that. What were you going to say?
Owen sucks at debating. Dude, the idea that, okay, so we have these girls who are being tortured by the age of consent, and they're being oppressed. We have to go liberate them. And which ones specifically? Like the ones that are married to the royal to their imam's royal or their imam's.
So they all got blown up. They all got blown up with their husbands.
So we're gonna blow them up. Dude, we've been doing these arguments quite literally since the first Iraq war. The dissident right and like what the right wing is now today spawned out of a rejection of these ideas. The fact that Andrew Wilson is trying to bring them back, resurrect them like some kind of sick fucking necromancer is disgusting. There should be nobody that tolerates Andrew Wilson. And the reason that people tolerate Andrew Wilson is why? Ding, 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 because he's a Christian. That's why. That's the only reason that people tolerate and keep him around. That's why he has a following of anybody's, a bunch of retards, by the way. His idiot friends of mine were in my replies the other day from a retweet of mine that I did of him, and it's just completely just insane to me that he's absolutely like got such a huge following and tolerated around these parts. It's insane. He is fucked, and he's a liar too. I don't think he believes a goddamn thing he says. He doesn't actually believe any of that.
Control of it. What did I say?
Yeah, he doesn't think that's a good reason to bomb him. I don't think so. It's like they're throwing gays off buildings argument that we used to hear, or maybe still hear.
Yeah, but both of those arguments are stupid.
Thorsrune sent $5 on Rumble. Wilson sounds like an Afghanistan war advocate circa 20 years ago. Look how that all turned out.
Right. And it's just like, oh, it's good because of this other reason that's not even the given reasons that we're bombing them. Like that's just illogical also. Okay, let's do Stuckey. Let's hear her debate. Oh, this is
three
a short
persons
one.
be one.
There's two.
just
This
don't.
is a short one.
In
This is
what
so
sense
stupid.
can
she's like?
Okay. In what sense can three persons be one? I just don't understand
that. The Trinity is a bit mysterious and has been for a long time. Almost every single metaphor or analogy for the Trinity falls apart because we end up kind of with polytheism. We end up creating these three divine beings, which is not what we believe.
In what sense can three persons be one?
Oh my God,
dude, can you believe they're still arguing through that? The point I made there is true though. Like if you
such a
remove the
mystery.
Trinity from if you remove the Trinity from Christianity, it is just Noahidism then. So that is kind of, I wouldn't want to see a world where like all the Christian sects in the world become, non-Trinitarian. That would actually be way worse than the current situation.
Yeah, I'd rather have them, if they're going to stay Christians, they should stay Trinity Christians, Trinitarian.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If they're not going to be Trinitarian, they might as well just be green-pilled and just reject it all. Because if they become Unitarian, then they just become Noahides. Exactly. Which is kind of weird that the biggest hang-up the Jews have with Christianity is the Trinity, and it's like so like unbiblically supported and illogical.
Yeah, that's
and contradictory. Isn't that
I had a bunch
weird?
of people like arguing in my reply and like arguing with me like, no, the Trinity it's not convoluted like you said. And it's just like, I'm not trying to say like it's convoluted in like an organizational way. I'm saying it's like it's convoluted in like a biblical way. I don't think the arguments, I've looked at all the arguments like for and against and all these stupid adoptionist arguments and all those things. And I've gone through all of them. And I just think that none of them are really like well biblically founded.
So she's a Protestant. She's like a Zionist Protestant, and she's interviewing a Mormon. Yeah. That's what this show was, right?
Yeah, she's specifically a Baptist, and she's a member of I think SBC and a very Zionist church. I looked into a little bit when we did the last clip of her.
I think we played some clips of her when she was on that Jubilee show where they debate 20 people. She debated like 20 liberal Christians, I think it was.
Yeah, and I think I looked up her church and saw their Instagram, and they had like a Zionism post. That was a long time ago, but I think that's what it was.
Can you share what you believe the good news of the gospel to be?
Absolutely. The good news of the gospel is for all mankind, not just the elect. It is.
This is Arvel before if he never looks maxed. Nothing, Amalek.
That Jesus
Sorry, I
Christ
was
came to this-
reading something in my. I didn't unmute my thing. I didn't unmute my thing.
He died for your sins, and he offers you his hand, the gift of grace, to come into full relationship with him, to be reconciled to God, to overcome the fallen world that we're in. The reality is, whether you're an atheist or whether you're a Latter-day Saint or whoever you are, we all have to agree that we live in a fallen world. It's broke.
No, atheists don't agree that we live in a fallen world. No, we don't. What a retarded thing to say.
Yeah,
fallen. I would never say that. We live in a world with no God, so living things can do evil things. There can be natural disasters that kill people, and there's people have motives and incentives and greed and accidents. No, and I don't attribute. Dude, they think that sharks eat kelp and lions are vegetarians in this pre-fallen world.
Yeah, it's dude. What he's alluding to here, like, all we can sit here and dissect all the funny things and ridiculous things about this. But in reality, what is he doing? He's promoting the story of Genesis, and what does that do? That makes more Zionism, okay? And I mean, we don't have to get too much into the Mormon stuff. I was thinking about this the other day. You got to have Black Pill on again to do like a Mormon episode. You should just start collecting and doing some stuff on Mormonism, because I know he's a former Mormon, and hearing his perspective on some of it would be pretty crazy, because I mean, that whole religion is fucked. I mean, it was made by Freemasons. The whole thing is centered on Zionism. Their idea is that in 600 BC, a bunch of the Jews left Judea, sailed all the way to America, and created the Native American civilizations, and that those are the ancient Israelites, and that when Jesus comes back, he will return to Jackson County, Missouri, to found Zion, and that like North and South America is the new promised land. Okay, that is cuckoo crazy retard shit.
Aryan Chadmogger sent $5. Your face is what I see when I hear Blonde Beast.
I'm laughing at the name more than the comment. Aryan Chadmogger, that's so good. Oh, that's good. That. Yeah, I hardly ever even investigate or talk about Mormons, just because like they're not even taken seriously by regular Christians, and they're just obviously the newest spin-off, culty, kooky type of thing.
We should do a whole Mormon episode special or something like that. I can help get some things together, because the other, like, knowing what they believe is crazy, but like also looking at their political situation, their demographic
the influence
situation,
and their power, right?
Yeah, there's like 17 or 18 million Mormons in the world, and most of them are now outside of the United States. So that shows that there's been a ton of missionary work in places like Mexico, South America, and Africa, and even some parts of Asia, right? So a majority of Mormons worldwide are non-white, and in the church, they're increasingly becoming Latino. I was going through like their own demographics report, and that's shifting. And then politically, they're voted for the GOP for a long time, and I still think that that's going to probably be the case for a little bit. However, among like the amount of Mormons who shifted leftward the last election does show a trend that it's going to keep going that way, and that is what the experts are thinking. So it could end up being that the Mormon church is a lot like the Catholic Church, where it's like split, liberal and conservative, if that makes sense, or even maybe lean liberal, lean leftist. And part of that's because so many Latinos are converting, because basically, like the Mormon church, I mean, if you were a Latino living in like a place where there's a lot of Mormons, converting is like the easiest free meal ticket of all time, and access to white women at the same time. It is like number one easiest thing you could possibly do is like talk to a Mormon missionary, get a job set up, get a whole house, like they set you the fuck up. So that's what's happening with the Mormons. So it would be interesting to talk to Devin about that. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much he knows about it, though. He hasn't been a Mormon since he was like a kid, basically.
Yeah, but he knows the beliefs.
His personal. Has he been like deeply investigating and doing videos, like exposing, deep into it? I haven't seen that.
It'd be interesting to see what he says about it anyway. I mean, like the lore and like what it was like growing up Mormon is very interesting, because I sat here and I talked badly about Mormons, but one of the good things they have is they have like a solid like community structure, if that makes sense. They help each other. There's like so much shit. Like their women are like networked up together. And I'm not talking about like the polygamy stuff. I'm just talking about like the regular everyday Mormons that aren't into that. They have like food pantries, and they're very like the way that they build up their community and the way they teach their children like makes like quality people. So there are good things about it, but the problem is with all those good things comes the Zionism, the fact that you're affirming the Hebrew Bible, and then like the idea that Native Americans are Jews and that Jesus is going to come hang out in Jackson County, Missouri. But like that, we can't keep doing this. It's got to go.
Wherever you are, we all have to agree that we live in a fallen world. It's broken. We are broken. It's unfair. It's unjust. And the only question is there a way out? What Christ's atonement represents and what Easter morning represents when he walked out of that tomb was that there's hope and that there is good news, that he overcame death, that he overcame sin. And my belief as a Latter-day Saint and my testimony is that Christ is our Savior, that he loves every one of us, and that he offers you a totally new life through him. And I believe that with all my heart, and we often in our tradition
say... All right, man, I need to ask
you
something, and I need you to tell me the truth. Are you a fag?
I don't know if he's gay, but he doesn't believe what he just said. Just rewind it 10 seconds, and everyone just notice. Look at his body. I don't mean to get weird, but look at his body language, how he said the ending there.
Totally new life through him. And I believe that with all my heart, and we often in our tradition say that we leave our testimonies in the name of Jesus
Has anyone
Christ.
ever lied before?
And it's
Like,
so
that is-
close.
he's lying.
Because I believe that. But in your belief system, I don't have an eternity. If I die as I believe now, if I believe all of that, I don't get eternal communion with God. It's not enough to you.
Well, in our view, you would get as much communion with God as you're willing to accept. And what we are offering in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is that people come and participate in the ordinances of the holy priesthood of God, which have been restored to the earth, that allow for men to act as his agents on earth, to organize his kingdom, and to bring those who believe in Jesus Christ and seek to follow him into full communion with one another in his church, so that we can build his kingdom on earth in preparation for his second coming.
Okay, here's what I would say, which I believe is better news.
Hold on, pause it real quick. So they're waiting for the second coming, just like all the other ones. The other thing is
by grace.
What he's basically trying to describe, like I can't believe that this is one of their apologists. He's so bad at describing this. They have this idea called the terrestrial kingdom, okay, which means that they believe that in the world to come type situation after Jesus comes back, that people who are Christians, okay, but they aren't part of the Mormon church, that they're still going to have the glorious and peaceful heaven, a better earth with no suffering, and that it's just like they don't get to go to the highest level, and that they see that it's like a different degree of heaven. It just Mormons have like a more complex version of heaven that's like built out more, okay? That's all this is going on here. So like that's all he has to say, like, okay, yeah, you're just not going to get the full thing. And she's so confused by it, by the way, which is astounding. It's so like, I don't know, it's not that complicated.
You have been,
and I think she believes it too, by the way. I think she's a true believer, don't you? Like, I don't think she's lying. I think he is.
Yeah, no, she's a Christian girl. I missed this too. King Charles receives standing ovation after he mentions the Declaration of Independence and America's 250th birthday.
Meeting of Congress. And on behalf of the Queen and myself, to thank the American people for welcoming us to the United States to mark this semi-quincentennial year of the Declaration of Independence. And for all of that time,
thank you for declaring independence for me. Congratulations.
What a weird, who wrote that? Why would he put that in there?
I know. Yeah, it's historic.
That's weird.
I would like, if I may, to take this opportunity to...
Someone just said in the chat something that's so true and so, like, great point.
What point?
It's the idea of virtuous pagans in Dante's Inferno. They get heaven light. And that is true. So there's literally basically no, like, Baptist hell has the same concept, lady. Like, the fact, you know what I mean? Like, in the Christian version of hell, pagans who didn't hear the word of Jesus, that pre-existed before Jesus, and all the people that Dante visits in hell and sees who's there and why, people who are righteous the whole thing is stupid. The whole thing is dumb.
And saved through faith, and this is
We gotta
not
get over
your
this
own
argument.
doing, that Christ's death, his sacrifice for you on the cross is enough for you to have fullness of your relationship with God, both here and in heaven, that there is no other name by which one can be saved. That's Acts 4:12. And that according to Hebrews, Jesus paid the sacrifice once and for all so that you could have access to God forever. There aren't 3 levels of heaven. There is full relationship with God, and there is hell. Those are the 2 options. And thankfully in scripture, we're not given this very like arbitrary and slippery, well, you can be bad. What is really bad? No, it's in Christ or out of Christ. It's dead and sinner made alive in Christ. And the good news is that that Jesus' death and resurrection is enough for you to have relationship with God and to spend forever in his presence. That is
so
the
cool.
really good news. And I think that's true.
This
No
is
matter what
this is
your
supposed to be political
background
too.
is.
Like
That is
I know.
the
This is
only
the
thing.
blaze.
And I
Out of
just
politics.
wanted to make
Get the
sure
fuck
that we
out of it.
distinguish that.
Yeah, I would be just fine if I never heard any of this type of bullshit ever again in my life.
Yeah, like it needs to be. The government should not allow this to be part of politics. And the society should not be shaped like this. It's so fucked.
Okay, let's shift to the evolution denying too. They're all Liam
Jarrett sent $5 on Rumble. I can hear her lateral dorsal frontal lobe separating.
Me too. I think I saw it bulge out of her head there a second. That's funny.
I might need to get one of those heart monitor things because I'm kind of pissed. That shit pisses me off. I can't even believe it's allowed.
I'm still down. The only thing that spiked me was that rabbi. I think it was the voice of the rabbi did it. I'm at 62 beats per minute right now. I'm chilling. Okay, so look, they're all sharing this. Christians go, oh, complicated must mean God. Like, why would God make this convoluted mess? And by the way, the first cell did not look like this. This is a eukaryotic cell, an advanced cell. The first cells, the first DNA, the first replicating things were RNA, not DNA, and they were very, very basic. It took billions of years to evolve from the most simple type of cell to these highly advanced cells and advanced organisms. Number 1. I don't see how you can point to this recreation of what a cell looks like and just think, oh, God did that. So what, God just like got his little tweezers out and just went kind of bippity boppity boo, all of these different aspects of this cell for you. Like, that's the way they think it happened? Just because you can't understand it and just go, God. Crazy. Groundbreaking scientists have created one of the most detailed 3D constructions of a human cell ever produced. This groundbreaking model, often termed cellular landscape cross-section, combines data from X-ray, magnetic, cryo-electron microscopy to map molecular structures in extreme detail. It is amazing to think every one of our cells has something like this going on inside of it. But amazing doesn't mean God. It just means evolution can create incredible complexity. But you know what they're all saying? It's obvious we're created. I don't see how that is obvious at all. All right, and now this, look, have I not said denying evolution is Jewish, guys? If you deny evolution because you think Genesis is real, it's Jewish. That's why PragerU and Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro and all of the MEGA Christian Zionist Judeo-Christian right is all promoting and boosting this guy right now. Like they do James True as well.
Hold on real quick. Asmongold apparently is reacting to my clip of Mizrachi and just liked the tweet just now. I'm going to...
Which one? The one about Clav or the one about walking like a
good
goy?
point. The walking
the same
like a
one.
goy.
Mm-hmm.
Walking like a goy, yep.
Kind of creative force. There seems to be this, deep. If you even with a watch, right? You take a part away, you add a part.
Yeah.
I think system stops working.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, why the hostility?
Dude, it's like 30, 40 years ago, Richard Dawkins wrote the blind watchmaker to explain that, and this pseudoscientist Christian apologist is on here, still doing the watch analogy.
It's so dumb, and they do the video game one now. Have you heard the video game one?
No,
By the
like
way, that's what
simulation.
not streaming. Yeah, so they basically say, like, have you ever played the video game Civilization? Have you ever played it? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's like a game where you like play through the ages. So you play through the Stone Age, and then you play through the Bronze Age and the Iron Age, and then you get to the Medieval Age and the Pre-Modern Age, and then you go to space, and it's like you play through civilizations like a turn-based game. And in that game, you can, when you set up the planet, you can determine like how old the world is. So they're saying that that's how God would have created the world, because you can create the world old. In the same way you can create a world in a video game. I see this analogy almost every day at this point. It's fucking retarded. It's the new version of the watch analogy.
I've heard Christians say that before too. Like, it's an old world, but it's only it was created 6,000 years ago. It was created old already. It's like,
yeah, created old. That's what they're talking about. Yeah.
Do you even hear yourself? Prefrontal cortex just right off.
Idea that there's some kind of creative force. There seems to be this, deep disinterest in exploring, that there's some kind of creative force here.
Well, right? I don't think there's that much hostility to the idea of a creative force, more to the idea of a creative intelligence.
Well, okay, so yes.
And again,
right, because evolution is a creative force in a way. Random mutations, if something gives you a benefit of procreating and passing on the genes, that spreads more of that gene.
It doesn't have to be the Christian.
Thank you for correcting that.
That does.
Well, the creative force would put you more in a pantheistic frame where, maybe people wouldn't be quite so hostile to that. But we are the underlying ideology that has really governed modern science since the late 19th century is one of materialism. There's a materialistic worldview that many scientists have in a sense bolted onto science and said that science equals materialism. Or more precisely, there's been a convention that's arisen that says if you're going to explain something scientifically, you must explain it by reference to strictly materialistic processes.
Tiffinol, thank you.
On Rumble. Christians try to claim I am not a conservative since I am a conservative secular Buddhist. No magical.
Is that our boy?
Maybe,
F. Gardner? Or we got another?
Maybe another one.
Another secular Buddhist.
No, make sure you guys are hitting that goal. I don't know if the thing's broken or not, but I can't be on if you guys aren't hitting the goal all the time.
It is. It's a little lagged. We're at 100 right now, so
matter and energy,
weak shit.
Natural processes. No creative intelligence is allowed as a possible feature in your explanation.
So that itself is a kind of faith system we're talking about.
Right? It's a presupposition. It's become a kind of normative convention within science, and it reflects an underlying commitment to not just a methodological convention, but to a metaphysical commitment in materialism, and so now, and that's where I think my late friend Michael Ruse's insight comes in, is that if evolutionary theory, if neo-Darwinian or some other materialistic evolutionary theory is being challenged, many people will sense in that a challenge not just to the science that they hold, but also to the deeper worldview commitments or metaphysical commitments that they have. And like all of us, if our deep metaphysical or religious beliefs are being challenged, we can easily respond emotionally or less than objectively. And so I think the debate gets very hot, and I think less so in the last 5 or 10 years. I think there's a lot more acceptance that, first of all, neo-Darwinism is not an adequate evolutionary theory. We need a new one if we're going to operate within the framework of materialistic evolution.
Dude, only people saying that are Christians, dude. Stop bullshitting.
But an increasing number of scientists are now aligning with our work on intelligent design. They're using it to make new discoveries. They think it's a useful framework.
That's not happening.
Yeah, like Christian influencers and MAGA or MEGA podcasters.
And there's a compelling argument for intelligent design as part of.
No, there's not. It's always been debunked.
Viking Princess's painting class fund.
Thank you. It's me, Sarah.
For how things got here.
She loves painting class and dancing so much. Dancing, really.
Sent $10. Asman will likely react to your tweet tomorrow on stream. He uses likes as a playlist for React content on X.
Well, Asmongold's a lot more red pill than people let on, or than people think. I know that he's a little roach lord and all that stuff. That's true, but he's got a huge platform. So him reacting to that clip would be very good, and we should definitely try to get people like that, that are open to criticism of Christianity with big platforms. We should be trying to reach those types of people, despite him being a roach lord.
Okay, guys, now I want the E-Crusaders to perk up and pay attention. PragerU, Dennis Prager, big Zionist, Shabbos Kestenbaum, huge Zionist, all boosting Stephen C. Meyer, and intelligent design, because they want you to believe in God. They want you to be a good Shabbos Goy Noahide, Abrahamic, believing in Hashem, not evolution. Do you get that? It's Jewish propaganda to promote intelligent design and to deny evolution. That's why they're promoting it. Get it through your heads.
Impetus has been really...
They're not promoting atheism,
Darwinian
guys.
evolution.
Yeah.
It's leading to new discoveries.
Or
The
paganism.
DNA points to a kind of master programmer for life.
Have you seen a shift in the scientific community in any way?
The new atheism didn't really engage the strongest arguments. They massively overplayed their hand. Hawking's own work in every way pointed to a creation event.
What would you say then directly to the late Stephen Hawking? Where do you think his theory of everything went wrong? Which design debate, which we're going to
Okay, let's just watch his intro is what we're going to watch here.
everything.
Hold on, real quick. They always do this. They act like
across
Stephen
the
Hawking
fence.
dying
And
is
welcome
proof
back to
that
the brief.
evolution
We are
is
joined
real. I've
today
seen it
by-
ever since he died. It's so stupid.
Also, look, he's shilling. This is the same new movie that what is her name? They're promoting the same movie that you tweeted about, the Zionist
What's her
network.
name? I can't think of her name right now. Lauren
Tenet
Chen,
Media.
right? Tenet Media, Lauren Chen.
Lauren Chen. Yeah, Lauren Chen was promoting the same documentary about intelligent design.
Oh, interesting.
Intelligent design is Yahweh smuggling, by the way. That's coded Yahweh promotion. Yeah, Lauren Chen.
Intelligent design is like a secular, safe way of saying Abrahamism, guys. That's what that is. When you hear intelligent design, think Genesis, think Abrahamism. There's no difference at all. There's no Buddhist creationist. There's no Shinto creationist. There's no Native American creationist that we're talking about here. When they say intelligent design, they mean Christianity, they mean Judaism, they mean Islam.
Genesis. They mean Genesis.
Yeah,
they mean Adam and Eve. So this same production company too puts out like Zionist propaganda movies.
Brief. We are joined today by Professor Stephen Meyer. Professor Meyer is the founder of the Center for Science and Culture of the Discovery Institute, DI, author of the
Discovery Institute. Discovery Institute is the Christian Zionist fake science front that Professor Dave's always talking about. I thought he was involved with them.
They're
the
involved
total
with the Ark.
Yeah,
The
the
Ark
Ark
stuff,
too.
too.
Yeah. This is the Zionist disinfo network. That's what this is, guys. Okay?
I
Denying
guarantee
evolution is Zionist in nature.
I guarantee you, Israeli intelligence services and their like technology and the way they do so many things are done for these companies or with these companies. Guaranteed. If we looked into this.
Hypothesis, and has a brand new film, The Story of Everything, which hits
Which
theaters
makes sense, by the way.
April
That's a good
30th
strat by
across this
them.
country. The Story of Everything, I had the chance to watch it last night, is a fantastic documentary adaptation of Professor Meyer's Return of the God Hypothesis, which is the, of course, 2021 bestseller. It sparked a widespread discussion in both scientific and cultural circles. It helped reintroduce the intelligent design debate, which we're going to discuss in a moment, to mainstream audiences. And again, take it from me, the film explores whether modern discoveries in things like cosmology, physics, chemistry, and molecular biology point to a purely undirected evolutionary process or to evidence of intelligent design. It engages science directly rather than arguing from theology. And as I said, I watched it last night.
Bullshit.
I cannot recommend it enough. So Professor Meyer, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's just awfully nice to be with you. Thank you for having me on.
So Professor, as I mentioned, the film is based on your book, Return of the God Hypothesis. And I'm just curious.
Return of Yahweh, by the way, guys, because he's a Christian. Get straight. Maybe he's Jewish. I don't know. Mayor.
Yes. What was the impetus for writing the book?
Either way, it's Yahweh.
And why make this film now? I'm also just curious how involved you were in the creative process of making the film. You're more of an academic, less of a Hollywood director, but I guess I'm just curious what that process was like for you.
Well, thanks for asking. The impetus has been really 40 years of work. I became intrigued with the idea that there may be evidence not only for intelligent design, but for a designing intelligence with the attribute.
See, 40 years he's been doing this too. It's not like he was probably raised Christian, became a Christian, and then it was like, oh, I'm going to be a scientist so I can try to prove God is real. And that's what he's been doing for 40 years. It's not like he was just some scientist that when he really looked into it non-biasedly thought, oh, God must be real. Of course not. Never is. All right, I've seen enough.
He it says he grew up very nominal Catholic, and dude, I just did like a quick search between the Jewish news networks and organizations and like that, and his name. I just did a cross search. I got 16,000 hits for the, and not on something I'm using on Claude. So he's like involved. Aish, the Forward. He's involved with some Forward project. He's involved with Bible for the People, and it's something based out of Israel. Dude, this is Israeli stuff that's going on with this guy. Oh, this whole network. We got to look more into this. I don't want to say like, oh, for sure he's like working for Mossad or anything like that, but there's something going on weird here for sure. It's very interesting.
I wonder who funds the Discovery Institute.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into this when I get a chance, maybe tonight.
I'm searching it. Yeah, private donations, 501c3, does not publicly disclose most of its donors. Okay, all right. Let's listen to Tabor now and talk about the Ebionites, new Christian segment, talking about the Ebionites, first Jewish Christian group of James and Peter.
Now, usually the Ebionites are seen as the worst because they reject Paul. He says that. They also say Jesus was just a human being. They don't have any virgin birth story. They use the Gospel of Matthew, but guess what? When they start their
See, all right, this is important, guys, already out of the gate. They say he was just a human being. That's not a quote of what they actually say. They don't say Jesus was just a human being. He's extrapolating that from other things that don't really say that, in my opinion. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, just for everybody that's about to watch this, the reason that this is important and we're going over this is because, and this is something that Adam and I have talked about for like hours now, this exact subject that we're about to go over. And it's basically part of the mythicism thing. And just to like lay this out before we get here is he's going to talk about Ebionites. And the Ebionites were a Torah observant sect with low Christology, which means that they believed in what everyone says is this concept of adoptionism. And what they're going to talk about is adoptionism. It's the idea that Christ comes into Jesus when he's baptized and possesses him, and then leaves his body before he's crucified. Okay, and some people would point to that and say, look, you can possibly have angel Jesus or mythicist Jesus. He can't possibly be a fake person because right out of the gate, people had low Christology. That's like a common argument. So part of that argument and going over the Ebionites is what Tabor's about to go over. And there's some things that I absolutely agree with Tabor, and we both will agree with Tabor on what he's going to say, but there's some things that are absolutely not supported by evidence in either of me or Adam's view. So Adam is we're going to explain how to deal with this as a mythicist, what I would call the low Christology problem, we can call it.
Seen as the worst because they reject Paul. He says that. They also say Jesus was.
Big Swag Fella sent $5 on Rumble. Been bone smashing my prefrontal cortex to grow it stronger so I can be more atheist and stuff.
Dude,
that'll probably make you more Christian.
I also wrote an article comparing bone smashing to early Christian practices because it is kind of like that, right?
Yeah, flagellation.
Yeah. Maybe I should write it. That'd be fun.
They say Jesus was just a human being.
They don't have any virgin birth story.
Just because this is what they do, because there's no virgin birth story, they conclude that he must have been a regular human being. Not having a virgin birth story does not mean they believed he was a real human being. Wrong.
They use the Gospel of Matthew, but guess.
Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous.
My view is that natural reality is God. Jews reject nature and worship themselves as a collective virtual God. Jews are actually strident atheists in my view. They're atheists with a God complex.
I don't think so, though. They believe in a creator God that chose them. That's believing in a God, so they're not atheists.
And if we are like living in like the dead body of a God, then the objective is to like win. And then if that's true, then we have to like defeat this thing. Like we have to win the simulation or whatever the fuck this is. And being Christians is not going to do that.
They use the Gospel of Matthew, but guess what? When they start their Matthew, it doesn't have the Christmas story. It just starts out with Jesus teaching, and much like Mark. So
that supports mythicism in my view.
I know. No birth narrative doesn't talk about.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in that book, Mark or Matthew, maybe both, it says at his baptism, you are my son, and that's just a midrash from Psalm 2 also. So that's what the Ebionites also had a verse about the baptism and God saying that, like it's in the Gospels. This is all mythicism, not he's a real man.
According to these sources, and it's not just Epiphanius, other sources like Jerome, they say, oh, they use a Matthew that doesn't have the birth story of Jesus being of a virgin and that sort of thing. So human Jesus, Joseph is the father. They reject the temple and animal sacrifices. They're vegetarians. He tells you all of this. And they particularly believe that Jesus became the Christ. They do think he's the Christ, but only at his baptism. So as he grows and lives up to age, in his 20s, until he's baptized by John the Baptist, he's just an ordinary human being. He's not really divine at that point, but we'll look at a text later. I'm going to read you some of the actual Ebionite texts that we have. And
This is also similar to in 2 Peter 1, where it talks about it's not a cleverly devised myth. We were eyewitnesses to his majesty. God spoke to him on the mountain and said, and then he does a midrash where he cites 2 Old Testament verses. That's what's going on in the Ebionite lore as well. Not he's making up and adding this part about them believing he was a normal guy. He says, oh, his father was Joseph. No, he's the Messiah, son of Joseph. That also doesn't mean it's a real guy. You think his dad was really named Joseph, or they came up with that because he's the Messiah, son of Joseph?
Well, hold on. I just want to split something up here. I explained this to you. Okay, so everyone knows the Superman analogy, okay? Imagine a Superman where instead of him being born a Kryptonian, okay? Instead, when he turns 13, the power of Krypton comes from space and enters his body, okay? That is the difference here. Just because the mechanics behind what makes Jesus divine is different in these two stories does not make that Clark Kent any more real. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yep. So when you're explaining it, I just want to make sure everyone's clear with what you're saying. When you're saying like, oh, that doesn't prove he existed, the Ebionites themselves did seem to believe in like that normal guy Jesus version, that normal Clark Kent version, right? Which that part is true. They did believe in like the normal guy who gets possessed by Christ, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean they believed in an actual real human. That's just part of the story in the same way.
Yeah, just as they all become possessed by Christ also. That's what it was. Perfect. Mystery religion, Gnostic style, yeah.
Yes, exactly. This is a popular motif in mystery religions and also like coming of age stories, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Here's a voice,
it's funny, we're only a minute
and the
in.
voice doesn't just say, "This is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased." That's in our Greek Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. You know what it also says? "You are my son. This day have I begotten you." And the Holy Spirit comes down, and I guess you could just say, begotten, impregnates him with the divine essence. So he becomes divine, but as an adult at his baptism. No pre-existence, nothing like later Trinitarian theology. So you can see why Epiphanius.
I think there's another source that says the Ebionites believed he was an angel, so that would be a pre-existent angel.
Jerome, Augustine, others would not particularly like the Ebionites. Also, they think Paul is a heretic. I think I mentioned that. They don't use the letters of Paul, but it isn't just that they don't use them. So if you want to get opposite of Marcion, go to an Ebionite. Marcion would say, letters of Paul are everything. Here's my distilled version of the new gospel. And then Ebionites would say, you've got things so backward. You're the extreme version of everything that's wrong. And of course, Marcion would say that back to them. this Judaizing group and so forth. So sometimes it's called Jewish Christianity, but that's really a mouthful. Or Judeo-Christian. We have all these hyphenated ways.
That's what I say.
Think
about this too, Christians.
The earliest movement is Judeo-Christian. Do you guys understand that?
And it's weird because, like, when Paul talks about Judaizers as this bad thing, right? He's talking about the brother of Jesus and Peter, the Ebionites.
This is perfect.
But it's not Jewish?
Yeah. So for those of you who haven't been paying attention, I've been doing some Substack stuff over on Richard Spencer's Substack, going over the book of Romans. We're done. We did 3 episodes on it, going over the entire book of Romans, doing a line by line read through. And there's been clips going around of it and stuff like that. But this is so important, guys. Let me just get through this real quick, Adam. So basically, when we are arguing with these e-crusaders, okay, and we bring up the fact that Romans 15 shows that they are taking money from the Gentiles. This is Paul taking money from the Gentiles and giving it to the saints in Jerusalem, right? We always tell the crusaders, oh, look, you're giving it to the money to Jews, right? And that is true. These saints in Jerusalem were ethnically Jewish. That's true. They would have been basically Jewish Christians, likely, if that's what's going on here. However, what's important here is that sect of Jews or of Christians would have been a sect of proto-Ebionites or Ebionites themselves. There's a lot of debate about this, but they basically would have been Torah-observant ethnic Jews who believed in some form of like adoptionism, not Trinitarianism for sure, right? And they would have been, just like Adam said, the Judaizers that all the e-crusaders hate. So there's no way they can get around it. We can, instead of saying, oh, you're giving money to the Jews, ethnic Jews, he's giving money to the Judaizers. That's what Paul is doing in that part of Romans 15. There's no way around this. That is what they're doing. And before that, all the Romans 9 through 14 stuff, I mean, we've gone over this 1,000 times, the grafting in and all this stuff. This is what produces the philo-Semitism, guys. It's the fact that Christians are taught through the book of Romans and just Paul in general that Jews should be seen as your elder brothers in the Lord, okay? And that you should respect them and love them. And that's how you get them to basically convert to Christ. That's how you beat the Jews, is by loving them and getting them to basically believe, oh, wow, maybe there's something to their religion since they seem so on fire in their faith. That's what Paul says, not this e-crusader crap. And so for those guys who understand what I'm saying, that means that Romans 15, that money that he's collecting, is for the Judaizers. The e-crusaders have no argument against this. They can't move from this at all. We have to make sure we're holding them to this and showing them this, because they have nothing for it. They have nothing to argue against this.
And think about this too. The story that the Ebionites viewed Paul as a heretic, it's almost like he becomes the scapegoat figure in Total Yeshu.
Yeah,
where it's like he's taking it to the Gentiles, a heretical version of it, right? That aligns with that narrative a lot.
And they later on, in a lot of the Apocrypha, they put Simon Magus as a stand-in for Paul as well, right? Yeah. So it's almost like there's like this tradition of doing like spin-offs about this subject, right? And that the sect that he's collecting money for, this would have been James the Just Judaizers, guys. Like, this is so important to understand. So he's literally in Romans going to the Gentiles, collecting money, and then giving that money to the Gentile or to the Judaizers. And what's important here is, let's just go with the traditional dating too. Let's just for a second go for the traditional dating and say that Paul's letters here, and he's a historical guy, and this happened beforehand, right? Before the temple was destroyed. So what is that money getting used for? It's an ethnically Jewish man, Paul, going around collecting money and then sending it to a province that is now rebelling to the point that they have to destroy the temple and completely wreck the Jews in the Jewish war. Do you guys understand this? What would they call this today? Material support for terrorism. What is Iran doing? Oh, we have to take out Iran because they're supporting all these terrorist groups. What the fuck was going on here? Paul is quite literally collecting money, taking it back to Jerusalem, and then those sects. Yes, sure, the Christians didn't join the rebellion. That's part of the lore. I get it. But all of those people would have been from the same group, the same tribe, the same communities, the same economy. You could look at it that way, okay? And there's no way that this isn't what was going on. Is that Christianity itself started as a way of collecting money. Okay, collecting money for this purpose. That's my view. I don't think that's Adam's view, but that's how this is played out, guys.
I found another one too. My algorithm is pumping them to me now in my feed. The faith required to be an atheist is insane. So you just see small, complex, and you just think you can't explain it. You don't know what it does, so you just automatically go, God, anything bad, demons, anything complicated, God. It's like, dude, do you not? It shows a cult. Like, I see this and I think evolution. I think messy, complex, complexity. Not.
Yeah, it's. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that the idea. Okay, just the quickest way I could do this. Everyone understands the concept of like the animal who, or like, we have to.
Hold on.
I don't know. I don't want
As
to
what sent $5 on Rumble. I think Schopenhauer was right. The world is the will, but Nietzsche was also right, because this will is will to power. And Hegel was right as well, because this force manifests itself in history.
Dude, that's kind of what I was
me.
Who was that? Dude, that was. I was sitting here toying on like, how can I explain Nietzsche and Hegel? Yeah, you're good, dude.
Aswad. Thank you.
Nice.
Okay, we'll get back to Tabor.
Look, the Jesus movement is Jewish. It's a Jewish movement within late Second Temple Judaism. And
clip it.
To call it Christianity at an early stage is kind of misleading. And if we're going to try to figure out who they were
to call it Christianity at that stage,
2nd century, early on, before they were just completely rejected and castigated, or even in the late 1st century CE, then we can find some more positive references, perhaps. For example, Matthew, in his Greek gospel that we have, says, don't think I came, this is Jesus speaking, don't think I came to destroy the Torah and the prophets. I tell you, whoever looses one of the mitzvot, the commandments of the Torah, will be least in the kingdom. And whoever does and teaches them will be great. Ebionites would love that. They would say, absolutely. And what you're doing with your Gentile Christianity is loosing the Torah and telling Jews that they don't need to observe the Torah. They're preserved not by name, but by ideology in the book of Acts. Remember those believers in the book of Acts, Derek, that kind of dog Paul and they think Paul's too liberal and he's teaching Gentiles the gospel. But remember, their real problem is, at least in the book of Acts, okay, Gentiles, we agree, they can go under what was called the laws of Noah. It's a form of the Torah that's more universal. Don't commit adultery, don't be an idolater, don't be sexually immoral, don't be cruel to animals, that sort of
thing.
It's
like proto-Noahide laws. There was basically two groups. There's a group that believed in Noahide laws via Christianity, and there was a group that basically was like, no, that's not going to work. And they disagreed with that, and eventually that group forms rabbinic Judaism, and they have their version that we now know as Noahide laws. But the earliest Christian, it seems like that is the debate almost, right? That kind of split them off from. There was many probably debates, but that was like the big one, kind of that split them off. I would say
laws that most cultures would probably agree with. That isn't what they're worried about.
He's promoting them too. You see that?
Paul, but when you're alone with your Jewish
their laws, most people would agree with. Whose line is that?
You tell them that they don't have to keep the law, because then you're contradicting Jesus. Because he said, if you loose the law, then you're going to be least in the kingdom. And that phrase doesn't mean they're going to be there. They're going to be called least by those in the kingdom is the idea. You people rejected God's law.
So do you understand that part, that ending part, why I kept it in there? It's kind of important because so what he's saying is that Paul wasn't telling Jews, according to the Ebionites. I'm sorry, the Ebionites believe that Paul was telling Jews to stop keeping the law. But I think that that's a debate, right? Like I would say he was and he wasn't. He was basically saying, like, don't do it in a way that's going to cause strife with your brother. But if somebody does keep the law, like, don't harass them, right? So it is kind of like what you would call a spiritual liberalism, I guess, or maybe even libertarianism. And that was kind of Paul's philosophy. So from the point of view, from like a rabbinic point of view, from an Ebionite point of view, it does make sense why they see it that way, right? Like, oh, well, you're leading Jews away from,
keeping the law.
Yeah, exactly.
But also Paul writes about them being hardened and blinded. So it's almost like he's okay with them still following the commandments. And and
I think it's both,
not
right?
becoming Christian.
Yeah, it's both. Well, yeah, there's a ton of times where he says, I mean, not a ton. There's a couple of times where he says, especially in Romans, where he says something along the lines of, and if you understand the scriptures I speak, like he's basically saying like, this is not for you kind of thing, which, so if you were a Jew who like understood the scriptures, you would hear that and you'd hear, oh, now he's going to cite some scriptures. Well, I know those scriptures. So what he's saying, this Christianity thing is not for me kind of thing, right? So it would have been a self-selecting system for Jews who don't know the Bible very well, or didn't know the Bible or the teachings very well. They had a higher percent chance of becoming Christian, kind of, right? And then the Jews who were well read on the Bible and did know the law and all that stuff, they knew that this was bullshit, right? Like, I mean, I think Tovia Singer has that point, right? That it kind of was a selected for like lower class or middle class Jews who didn't really know the Torah that well, in part.
Okay, so here's another clip you did.
Paul probably thought Jesus had Paul. Now, we do have the other term. So let me go to that and then come back to the Ebionites, the poor ones, Nazarenes. Later, the two groups get kind of identified as two forms of Jewish Christianity. One group accepting Paul, the other group rejecting Paul. So in the book of Acts, I think it's Acts chapter 24, when Paul is charged at one of his trials, he's called by the priest, the ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. It's the only time we get that term. But he does call it the sect of the Nazarenes. Now, let me stay with that term a little bit, and then we'll go back to the Ebionites. The Nazarenes later are distinguished, I'm talking about 3rd, 4th, 5th century, from the Ebionites by saying that, well, the Nazarenes accept Paul, but they're kind of Jewish-oriented, and they have a medium Christology, not Trinitarian, the so-called really high Christology, like pre-existence and so forth. But they do think he's divine and they worship him and, in their rituals and so forth. And the Ebionites are the more strict ones that reject Paul. So maybe there was kind of a separation later, because when Epiphanius describes them, he says there's two groups. One, really bad. The other, bad, but, they're not, at least they're not rejecting Paul. And maybe you could say teach a Nazarene.
I just want to say something about this that I forgot to mention earlier. Almost all, like a lot of heresies, this is kind of the problem with reconstructing Christianity, early Christianity. A lot of the heresies, everything that we know about them is written in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th century as seething copes centuries later in polemics against heresies that were around that time. So all we have from them is other people talking shit, basically describing what they believe, right? So imagine if someone did that with, me or Adam or any Twitter account, right? The only ones that we can reconstruct your views from are people that hate you. You know what I mean? So we always got to take anything that we know about these groups with a grain of salt. And the big reason I would point that out is because this whole are the Nazarenes and the Ebionites, are they the same group or are they different group? I don't think a lot of this is authentic. I think a lot of it is polemic against what they were dealing with at the time, which would have been called Arian Christianity, Arianism, which had a similar low Christology, father and son setup that was not Trinitarian, basically, right? So a lot of these are polemics against Arianism, is what I would say. I just want to point that out because I don't think a lot of this is authentic, is I guess what I would say. It does matter. I'm just saying I don't think this was the authentic beliefs of a lot of these groups.
Probably couldn't teach an Ebionite because they're just following the devil, basically. There have been some recent studies that have argued that dichotomy is probably not valid. You're going to have a whole spectrum of diversity in any of these movements. When you say accept Paul, reject Paul, maybe you read Paul differently. Someone could read Paul in a more Ebionite way. Like, I personally am not convinced that Paul believed that Jesus pre-existed. So I would be making Paul sort of like an Ebionite or certainly a Nazarene. And I think Paul probably thought Jesus had a human father, because he says, of the flesh, he's of the seed of David.
Totally disagree with Tabor here, right?
Yeah. No, he did not know he was at the seed of David. He never talks about who his father is.
Well, hold on.
That's crazy.
Well, play it again.
Paul thought Jesus had a human father, because he says, of the flesh, he's of the seed of David.
Yeah, he also talks about, Tabor should know this. He talks about there are more than one kind of flesh. There's bodily flesh and there's spiritual heavenly flesh. Come on, Tabor.
And not just that, but
he really wants to believe in Jesus.
I know he's just a believer, and it is what it is. His work is good sometimes, and sometimes it's not. One thing that I want to say here too is this idea of the flesh, what the Ebionites basically believed is that the body that the Christ could go into would have to be of the flesh of David, right? So what they're saying is that Clark Kent figure that I came up with earlier, where instead of him being born a Kryptonian, he has the Kryptonian spirit kind of come in and possess him, impregnate him is actually the word they would have used back then in the Greek, but impregnate him, basically take his body over. And what they believe is that body had to be someone descended from David. Does that make sense? So that still, once again, just because that's the flesh. Understand what I'm saying? So even within his own model, if that makes sense, what I'm saying. So even if that's what Paul's talking about, right? If that's how they would have read Paul, the Ebionites, that's still mythicist. The character of Clark Kent still doesn't exist just because it's more of a more quote unquote natural version of the story, a quote unquote less supernatural version of the story.
Paul's saying once, I believe, that he's the seed of David of the flesh. Like the Messiah has to be the seed of David. By logic, if they're making up a midrashic figure that is the Messiah, that they're going to say that he's the seed of David because he has to be. Logic alone entails that. So again, not a strong reason to think.
Did he think Joseph was the father?
Did anybody ever explain how they knew he was the seed of David or how they got the supposed genealogy records?
Very possibly.
No, of course not.
He doesn't say who the father was, but he certainly thinks he's a human being born of a woman and so forth. So you see...
Oh my God! Born of a woman? That is a metaphor, dude. You can't say he certainly... Dude, he just said Paul certainly believes Jesus was a human because he was born of a woman. That is a metaphor. He doesn't say born of Mary. It says born of under the law of Sarah and Hagar. It's a metaphor.
Yeah. It says it at the bottom of the page. He's literally talking about a total metaphor, and then it says it at the very bottom of the page. It's just
Paul explicitly says this is to be taken figuratively.
Yes.
And this is what the top biblical scholars will cite as Jesus definitely existed. See all these little ways how he's trying to say Jesus existed? Yeah. He is reading that into him where it's not there.
I'm so glad they reject Paul. When I watched this, I was like, Adam will love this one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Interpretation of Paul, what understanding? Yes, they certainly reject the later view of Paul that develops in the early Christianity. But we do have sources about the more strict group, the Ebionites, that are very helpful to kind of flesh out what they might have believed. The main sources, and I really recommend that people read them, you can get them in English translation, are called the pseudo-Clementines. Pseudo because they're not really written by Clement, but they are
another forgery
and wonderful. But one of the core stories.
Thank you, Jack.
_85 sent $10 on Rumble. Philippians 2:9-11. Paul declares Jesus as Kyrios, Lord, asserting his authority and supremacy over creation. Are you sure that Paul wasn't something of a Trinitarian? Philippians isn't pseudo.
Yeah, I know. It's a complicated argument. I personally have looked at this, and I don't think that there's a good case that he was Trinitarian. I don't remember the exact argument on the first Philippians one right now, top of my head. Yeah. I don't want to look it up right now and rail the show. But if you DM me, whoever that just was, I'll give you the argument on that one because that's pretty much what my hang up was. I used to think the same thing that Paul was obviously Trinitarian, but I don't think that's true anymore. I just don't think so. I think it's up for debate at least.
For a fact, it's not up for debate. He doesn't explicitly say it's the Trinity. He doesn't explain the Trinity.
I know there's a lot of debate about this, obviously. So
I'm going to say, what's the most Trinitarian verse from Paul?
Between Peter and Paul.
I think it's that one.
And that is really interesting. And the pseudo-Clementines, this particular section, claims to come from James, the brother of Jesus. So you got James, the brother of Jesus, presenting his view of his brother in early Christianity. And guess what? Peter represents the position of a kind of orthodoxy, a Jewish understanding of keeping the commandments that the Ebionites would have liked. And Paul represents the arch heretic who's being rejected. And they're actually having a debate. And you'll be very interested in this debate because you and I have talked a lot about it.
And if it were Jews that didn't want other Jews to fall for this total theeshu thing that Paul was taking to the Gentiles, he would say, don't follow him. That's a heretic. That's idolatrous, right? They would say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so ChatGPT says the 2 Corinthians 13:14, the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all. And the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit. Okay, so just because they talk about Holy Spirit as, okay, that is a little, it's like he's describing the three in the Trinity, but he doesn't say it's a Trinity. He doesn't say they're all the same thing. But I could see. It says Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit.
Aun Marie sent 20.
Thank you, Anne Marie.
Thank you guys for standing strong. Hail the folk.
That's as Trinitarian as anything in the Bible. Thank you, Anne Marie. You're the best.
Yeah, I'm going to go in like 10 minutes or something like that. Just so you know, I just got someone just called. It's an emergency, so I got to take care of it.
Okay, you can go right. Or we'll just finish this clip out.
What did Paul really see Jesus? And in the debate, Peter says, you know, we saw him, we touched him, we walked with him, we knew him, you know, all the human emotions. Like someone would say, I knew this person, right? Very well, in the flesh. And we know in Paul's letters, he goes, well, if we once knew Jesus according to the flesh, we don't know him that way any longer. Well, that really fits this text. So Paul says, well, I know him too, because I've seen him in heavenly visions. And Peter...
By the way, this is all dated to 3rd, 4th century, but they say layers go back earlier than that.
So in the text, and it's mixed in with Simon Magus. So I didn't explain that, but I'm translating it. It's basically a Peter Paul thing, because Simon Magus is presented as the bad guy, and Peter's the good guy. But it's basically Paul, and the idea would be, maybe you had a dream or a delusion, or what we're going to go by somebody claiming they saw something. We actually knew him.
So this is not proof that somebody really knew a historical Jesus, by the way. Like I said, this is much later, not eyewitness testimony, pseudo-Clementines, not written by the... Okay.
It was literally like a council of people. It's literally like a council of people, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, obviously they would be like, why would anybody believe Paul if he never knew Jesus, clearly? But and then, you know, the brother and best friend, why is everybody following Paul and not them? And then they go, well, they would say that they walked with him. But actually, Paul never debates that. In the New Testament, that's never debated. He says, have I not also seen the Lord, Paul says, and that they had nothing, the super apostles like taught him nothing, stuff like that, right?
The pseudo-Clementines say, don't believe anything you hear unless it comes from James the Just, Jesus' brother. And that would echo what we see in the Gospel of Thomas, where Jesus says, if I go away, there's one person you go to. You want to get the truth. Go to James the Just, for whom heaven and earth were made. You know, like he's a Sadiq. This is a Jewish expression for what's called.
Yeah, because he was the real one with the real revelations. Trust his revelations.
Yeah, the Judaizers. He's saying in that would have been to say, trust in the Judaizers, trust in the Jews, is what he's basically saying. Salvation comes from the Jews.
A righteous one. The Jews had this tradition that there are 36 righteous all times in the world, and that keeps the world stable because God at least has those Sadiqim that he can see are good. Almost like the Sodom and Gomorrah story. If I find 10, yeah, I'll put up with the evil because it's worth it for those 10. And finally, it gets down to like, we can't even find 10, so the place gets destroyed. So that's sort of the idea behind this exaltation of James.
Hey,
all right, Amalek's got to go.
Hold on.
What?
Can we just do this one real quick before I got to go? Sorry, I know I told you I got to go, but it's fine.
Do what one?
I just posted in the chat.
Else?
Yeah, in the chat real quick.
Catholic story about the Antichrist?
Yeah, I see people asking me. I woke up to a ton of DMs about this story, guys. Listen, I just need to put this out for all of our guys. Whenever you see a story from this Christopher Hale, do not take it at face value and do not wave it in front of the e-Crusaders' faces, because this guy is a liberal, an Obama era liberal. He is they say he's a new convert, but whatever. I don't believe that. Anyway, he has been putting out these stories. He's the one that put out they're going to Avignon the Pope story. Remember a couple weeks ago? This is the same guy, okay? And this is saying that he's got, we have leaked recordings behind the paywall that talk about, look, Teal tells J.D. Vance not to listen to the Pope, to go against the Pope, and talking about this Antichrist stuff, okay? We can't take the bait on this as anti-Abrahamics guys. We cannot take the bait on this and put it in their faces. That's the first thing I'll say. We need to be more discerning and and chill. But what we should be telling the e-crusaders is that they should not be freaking out about this. I've already seen them freaking out about this. They should not be freaking out about this. They should chill out, wait to see if the story is true before they start going around. Because, I mean, I'm seeing them right now all calling J.D. Vance, NTL, oh, look at this Antichrist energy going against the Pope, just like they did a couple weeks ago with the Avignon story. This guy and these stories are an op. Whenever you see in a story attacking J.D. Vance and attacking Teal, regardless of what you may think about those people, coming from like this Catholic perspective, immediately be skeptical about it. That's your first default position. And because I see a lot of our guys attacking them with this article, and it's going to blow up in our, like, we don't need to do that. We don't need to use this story. I don't think it's true, or maybe it is true. It might end up being true, and that'll be a whole thing we can talk about. But just don't trust these sources is what I would say. It's very important that we don't attack the e-crusaders with stuff that the left is putting out that ends up being false, okay? This is a huge own goal if we do that. Sorry, that was it.
Cool. Yeah, I'd never heard of this guy before. And, okay, Peter Thiel calls the Pope the Antichrist. Yeah, he's fear-mongering about Antichrist all the time, keeping everybody locked in the Jewish paradigm. J.D. Vance is saying UFOs are really demons and promoting Christianity. So, yeah. More of the Judeo paradigm bullshit. I'll be back tomorrow with a bunch more stuff. We'll go over this clip of Rabbi Dr. Michael Brown and Tovia Singer fighting about the Messiah and prophecy. It's a good one. Good one to learn some things through. Thanks for joining Amalek. Thank everybody that donated. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. And link for Substack down in the description below. Sign up to join the private Zoom calls. And you guys have a nice night. I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.
Thanks. Have a good one, guys.